turn my fan off. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be hot as fucking evil in here, though. Let me move my chair back a bit, because I'm obese. Ah! Oh, jeez. What is happening? How... Okay, I'm gonna test real quick. Oh my god, it's hot in here. That's bad. Ugh! Okay, I'm gonna test real quick. How does the audio sound? Oh jeez. What is happening? Okay, I'm gonna test real quick. Oh my god, it's hot in here. That's bad. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna test real quick. How does the audio sound? Okay, I think I'm good. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can join. Let's see what the fellas are up to. Call button. Ugh.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now.
Oh, I can hear you. I might have to turn. It's gonna be louder on my stream, but I think I have to turn my fan on low key because it is broiling in my room, and I'm like cooking up medium rare. How are you doing on this fine evening? I can hear you. Let's see how it sounds on stream real quick.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, what's up?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Okay, you should be able to... Okay, yeah, voices are fine. All right. Abbadon, I have a hypothetical for you.
What's your hypothetical?
Okay, so let me turn your volume up just a wee bit. So you're playing Minecraft. You're mining all the diamonds. Your life's going good. You're gonna bring your diamonds up to your Minecraft girlfriend, and you're gonna have like a superb time. But then, as you're leaving the cave, you look out in the distance, and you see him. It's Herobrine. He looks you in the eyes, and he places down a sign that says, Hawk Tua, spit on that thing. What do you do in this situation?
Bro, it's 5 a.m. It's too early.
How are we all doing? Hello, Clone Sparta.
What do I do?
Is he actually playing Minecraft?
I
thought you were saying he was actually playing Minecraft.
Yeah, no, he sees Herobrine in game, but he does in game place like a sign that says Hawk Tua, spit on that thing. It's all part of the process.
Oh. Yeah, I have no idea what I would do in that situation.
He breaks your PC, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll lose everything.
How are we all doing on this fine evening, or fine morning in Ven's case?
I'm still waking up, but I'm doing good. Yeah.
All right.
By the way, Abbadon, this is the first time that we've officially met. It's really great to meet you, man.
Oh!
I know, yeah. First time. It's been a long time coming, but I'm excited.
True.
We're gonna...
Oh, my whole thing is messed up. My FOV and everything.
Oh, from the what do you call it the other day?
No, I
His
think that
Minecraft FOV.
was... my Minecraft, no. I was getting some shots in the dungeons the other day.
Okay, I gotcha. Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
I haven't played Destiny in a few days though, so it's like, it's kind of jarring.
Me neither, man. Yeah, June 18th for me.
Oh wow, yeah.
I think it's. I just realized this morning it's kind of funny because like we're gonna be talking about Edge of Fate and the stream and stuff like that, but they're literally doing like another stream tomorrow, right?
On
Oh, are
Monday.
they?
I guess for you that would be tomorrow.
Or for me tomorrow. For me tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah,
for you,
yeah.
It's 2 days. So yeah.
But yeah, they're doing that. I think they said they're gonna talk about the campaign, so there might be some like narrative. So I know they showed off the first mission. I haven't seen it yet. I want to go in blind.
Yeah, I did watch it. I won't give away anything, but I'm pretty interested in what they have.
Yeah, this is my raw take on like the whole situation with all of it at the moment. I genuinely could not care less about the game, like the sandbox updates, as long as the story's good.
Same. Like I don't really care either. Like I don't know why people. I do understand it, but part of me is like I just don't really care what I'm grinding for. You know, it's something in the background for me, but the lore is gotta be first.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of looking. I'm very interested in like how the new armor works with the perks and stuff.
Yeah, like from what I've seen, it seems pretty good. Like everything so far. I know people were. It was a big thing the other day, but I wasn't really paying attention to it.
I was talking to a friend of mine. Actually, yeah, no, I think it was a different friend. I don't remember exactly. I don't think it was you, Ultra, but I was saying that I remember back in Shadowkeep they were talking about how they kind of wanted to pursue like the MMO direction for Destiny, and a lot of people were thinking along the lines of like World of Warcraft or stuff like that, right? And like when you think of that kind of MMO, you have the grind, but then there's like the social elements, like player housing, more like involved clan stuff, trading, stuff like that. But I think as time has gone on, especially with Edge of Fate, I think the like more clearer direction they're going in is more along the lines of Diablo or Path of Exile, in the sense of like the seasonal reset for gear, and then the gear sets being needed for the different kind of builds that you want to go with, or different play styles. And I don't think that a lot of these are bad. I just think that for a lot of people, it's against their it's two different like philosophies of playing the game, if that makes sense. Like I remember when Diablo 4 came out, I was telling Ultra this. I remember when Diablo 4 came out, and I loved it, and I had some friends who also play Destiny that got into it with me, and they also loved it. But then as soon as the first season came out and everything reset and you had to make new characters, they just couldn't do it because they had to like redo a lot of the progress. And I think that's where like a lot of this backlash is coming from. It's not that the system is bad, it's just that it's a system that may not be inherently compatible with what the Destiny player base, a lot of them are used to. It's a different mindset when it comes to. So I think that's kind of how I look at it, where I don't think the system is necessarily bad. I think it's a system that is going to require a lot of time, especially for the tier 5 gear. Because I was watching a video and the guy made a great point, which is that you're going to spend however long it takes to get your tier 5 gear, but then presumably when Renegades comes out, you're going to have to do it all over again. And Renegades isn't going to be a year after Edge of Fate. So, it's a much bigger time investment for a reward that's not going to last as long as you're used to. And so again, I don't think the system is necessarily bad, but for a lot of people playing the game, it might not be compatible with, especially because like this is a mindset that's been ingrained for so many years now. So that's just my kind of take on the sandbox side of things.
Yeah, like I think it's, for a lot of this players, it's jarring. I definitely agree, but I think for the long term, I think it's gonna be good for the health of the game. I feel like I like the system a lot better than what we have now, honestly.
I think there's definitely potential. Yeah, it's like growing pains, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just end up updating all of the weapons to kind of be incorporated into that new system as time goes on anyway. The only thing I'm kind of on about is the like the new tab where it's like specific exotics get boosted. Because I know something that a lot of people really are not a fan of is getting kind of pushed into using a specific build, and that definitely kind of does that.
We're kind of going in that direction though with the artifact stuff. How it, like, you know, the buffs for different weapon types or champion mods. They've been kind of going in that direction ever since Shadowkeep. So.
Oh, for sure. It's not really. It's not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it like a new thing. My chat, by the way. Jay said that Abbadon's voice was a little low. I turned him up, so if his voice sounds good now, let me know.
If it's low, I can. Hold on, let me. Yeah, I can mess with my settings real quick.
Okay. I did turn you up to the max, so it should be better, too.
People in my chat, is my audio good? Or do I need to turn that up in OBS as well?
Okay. They say it's better. That's good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the way I have to do my chat is incredibly scuffed. I have it open on my phone because I don't have. I own 2 monitors, but my motherboard doesn't have any built-in graphical capability, so I can't use 2 monitors.
Let's see.
Okay, at the very least for this screen, I did set up like starting soon and like be right back screen, which I didn't have before.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they're useful.
Yeah, I did a fun one. It's my little character dancing around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what's actually cool is there's actually a there's a place in the throne world where you can like go out of bounds and you can use it as a green screen. So it's been a very
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very useful. I can send a video of it in the chat later.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to check that out. That's really useful, actually.
For sure. And for the record, we will do dungeons in a bit. I'm trying to do a. I mean, we don't have to finish it. I was doing a bounty for the heroic events, but I failed. I don't have a gun with high magazine for the ether ones, so that kind of messed that up. And I guess
now that we're here, I'm being reminded that I need to bounty prep, and I haven't at all.
I don't do it to
the ascent challenges.
Yeah, I don't do it to the same extent as other people do. But if I'm like bored and I'm not doing anything else, I'm like, I'll go do some bounties for the fun of it. Why not? Okay.
Boys, I want to talk about the story. I want to hear your takes on the way that the story seems to be going.
Yeah, for the I think Heresy was very strong, so I'd say I'm cautiously optimistic for Edge of Fate. I do get kind of Lightfallish vibes from some of it, but that's something where you really don't know until you see it, so like, we'll see. Renegades I'm a lot more nervous about, but it's kind of the same thing with, we've seen one cinematic trailer so far, so we'll see what it actually looks like when it is shown off.
Yeah, for me, I'm really optimistic just because, like, I've actually gotten a lot more excited for like the story over the past few days because I've been working on a 9 video, and I don't know if you've read the recent lore book that came out with Rise of the 9. But it's really interesting. There's a lot of like there's a lot of Greek mythology in it, but there's also a lot of connections to like, there's like a lot of religious references in it, which is really interesting. So, out of the way they wrote it, it was well done. So I'm excited just based off that, and also just, from what I've seen of Edge of Fate, like I did watch the first mission, and that got me interested. And the chess ARG was really well done as well.
That was I was so happy to get a an ARG after all this time. The one thing interesting about this new lore book is normally I've skimmed through a bit of it, but I haven't like sat down and read the whole thing. But something I noticed is that most 9 lore is in the Dusk and Dawn category, but this one specifically is in the Darkness category.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
So that makes me wonder.
From what I can tell, from what I've read, I don't know. I mean, there's a particular reason as to why, but it details the, I guess the moments up from like, well, it goes for like to a million years ago with the creation of the solar system, all the way up to the right before the emissary kind of quits in that cuts in the cinematic trailer, like right up to that moment.
Okay.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with the 9 and stuff, because that lore book is interesting. I'll have a whole my video will do all the explaining for it. Like one entry in the lore book is like 2,000 words of the script. It's crazy.
Oh, nice. I do that.
Yeah.
Nearly every time I do a video, I end up doing that where I'm like, I'll just make like a 10-minute video about this thing, and then it'll end up being like nearly half an hour because I just have a lot to say.
Yeah, this one, like, I was aiming for it to be 30 minutes, and now I have no idea how long it's going to be. It's like, and it's a 9,000 word script, which usually, like, my 30-minute ones are like 5,000 to 6,000. So, this is also gonna have like the voice acted segments and then like the cutscenes. So, and the dialogue. A lot of it's about Invitation of the 9 as well. So there's the dialogues from that. So it's gonna be a long one, and I'm trying to get it out before Edge of Fate. Well, actually, I need to. So, the next 2 weeks.
You can do it.
All right. What do you say we do some dungeons?
Sure. I am like really rusty, just saying.
Oh, that's fine.
Game. Yeah.
Dungeons aren't too bad.
And I actually, for the record, I have not even touched Rite of the 9. I've never done it. Haven't done anything to do with it. So, yeah, I'm very much out of the loop in a lot of that. I'll give you just real quick. I'll give you my 2 cents on the story side of things for Edge of Fate. My opinion is that I think with, well, I don't know how long this current content model, like the way the Edge of Fate and Renegades, I don't know how long they're going to be going with this model for, but I think that at least with these 2, I kind of treat them more as like an intermission period. And I think that because of that, I'm not viewing a lot of this stuff as with as much importance as I normally would. That being said, so I'm interested to see what they do with the 9. I kind of look at this as a reboot for the faction, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm also, after Heresy especially, I am interested in seeing what direction they go with this. That being said, Kepler, I'm really not that interested in personally. And House of Exile, like, I'm personally very happy to have a house other than Salvation or Dusk being the focus when it comes to a Fallen faction. So I'm happy about that. But I'm not, like, gripped to, like, oh, I want to learn about the House of Exile. And I think my biggest, I would say, disappointment, and again, this is all, like, you know, personal, subjective, is the fact that they're going again with, like, another colony or human outpost that survived the collapse. And I think when Ultra was talking about getting kind of Lightfall vibes from this, I think with for some people and definitely me, the fact that it's another golden collapse surviving group of people, it's kind of another, an echo of the same theme. And I haven't seen like the full like first mission or anything like that, but I saw one mission, or maybe it was like some kind of like a optional side mission thing or whatever, and it was like, oh yeah, like save the food supplies for the Aeonians, and I'm just like, I don't like it's not that it's bad. I'm just like I'm not personally as excited about that, and I think my biggest fear would be, let's take Beyond Light for example, marketed as a pyramid expansion, but we spent more time learning about the Fallen and fighting the Vex than really doing anything pyramid-wise. My fear would be Edge of Fate, 9-themed expansion, but you spend more time learning about the Aeonians and the House of Exile. That's like my kind of fear with that. But no, I think the way I'm looking at it right now, I think regardless of what the actual like main story is going to be like, I think the lore is going to be very good, because I think they know what the blocks are that they're laying down for this next saga, and Edge of Fate is 100% going to have some of those blocks. So either this main story is going to like properly start that off, or it's going to be just more of like an intermission kind of, whatever story. But the lore is going to have a lot of that foreshadowing and that build up. So that's what I'm kind of excited for on my end.
Yeah, like I definitely agree with a lot of your points, like especially stuff about I hope they don't like spend the whole time about the Ionians. But from what I can tell, I don't think it'll be like that, just because from the mission I watched, I don't want to give anything away, but I have reasons to believe there's like the Nine are definitely going to be involved throughout the entire time. But I hope they don't just spend, like I did with like yeah, the first mission they're there, but then the whole rest of it is just, off of the Ionians. But from what everything they've been saying, the story of this expansion, like how it's gonna have like the narrative gasoline to set off for the next saga, like that's one of their quotes. Like I think it will. I hope it will at least. But definitely with the lore, like, another thing that I've just been seeing they've been doing with this expansion is like there's a ton of connections to Chicago, and I'm really interested with that. Because I don't know if you guys saw it, but like when they first revealed Edge of Fate, they showed off a little bit of the collector's edition, and someone was able to like they had like the collector's edition on like a table or something, and like the first page of one of the lore like books or whatever, like physical books, was open, and someone was able to transcribe everything it said and get it all in a high quality. And they're definitely going to expand on that whole mystery of Chicago with it, because there's like a whole new like it was the Department of External Observation, something like that, based in Chicago, and they were seeing these anomalies in the, I don't know if it was referring to Traveler or something, I don't know. I forget what it said, but like all the way back then when this was selected as Golden Age or pre-Golden Age organization. But they're definitely leading into that Chicago mystery again, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Yeah, Chicago. 100%. That's old Chicago's been it's been a big thing for When was it? Was it around the Red War when they were like hinting that there were some sort of monsters in old Chicago?
I know a lot of it was Forsaken as well.
Ah, okay.
Whenever I don't know when the set released, but the Trials of Osiris armor that had all the lore with the Aisha and her fire team that went down there.
Yeah.
And they fought the monster. Whatever that, I don't know, when did that release? I forget.
I remember this was like a year or so ago looking into all of that, and I do want to say it was around the Forsaken time, but I'd have to look into it. But also, I think Graviton Lance might also be made by the same people, like the Chicago people.
Yeah. I think you might be right about that, just because also with the one of the new exotics is Graviton Spike, so that might be like have a connection to
True.
Oh yeah.
See, that's
huh.
an
I didn't even
origin.
think about that. That's a good point.
Hmm.
It's a good point.
I mean, I don't know how connected it would be to that specifically, but there's also Graviton Forfeit the Helmet, which
True.
Yeah.
has a Winnower lore tab, actually.
It isn't confirmed to be Winnower, but
Oh, I
it
mean,
is
yeah,
pretty kind
but-
of on the nose about it. Yeah. That's also another thing. That's like what I'm really kind of looking for. You know, it's like, you know, you get people like, oh, like I'm really excited to learn about it. I'm just gonna be kind of like sifting like through the pages. Okay, where's my Winnower reference? You know, I'm looking
Oh,
to
yeah.
keep that pattern going. You know.
I'm so glad that in Heresy, Oryx is talking about the Winnower and the artifact has the
Yes.
Winnower. Bro. Like that, when I saw that on day one, I was so happy. I was so happy. when
I
saw
s-
that.
I streamed that, and when the moment I got the Tablet of Ruin, and I saw that it had quotation, like a quotation from the Winnower, I made a noise that I think can only be described as an elk dying. I went like, oh! Oh man. What's extra cool about it is it gives you it's like solid confirmation that it was for sure the Winnower talking in the Books of Sorrow, because it's a
Oh,
quote
yeah,
from
that
the
too.
Books of
No,
Sorrow.
they're doubling down on that now.
Like they're finally like. I'm so glad like no one can be like, oh, that's the Witness. Like, no, that's the Winnower. Come on.
Yep. 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 Yeah, dude, I remember when Heresy came out and I was kind of looking at all this stuff and cuz I was really distanced from Destiny because of just life stuff at the time, and then people were messaging me saying, like, yo, dude, like there's like, you know, Winnower stuff happening in this, and I was like, okay, let me check this out. And then I was kind of going through it, and then I played through Heresy, and dude, I actually I nearly did make a video on it, but I ended up not doing it. But I think so my opinion is I genuinely think in when the whole debate was going on between, you know, the Winnower and the Witness and unveiling and all that, my opinion is I do think originally they were going to go with the Witness, but I think just coming up to final shape, that's when they made that decision, and then they doubled, or yeah, so then they revealed the Winnower, like, quote unquote, officially with final shape, and you had the ship lore, the first knife, you had the Witness straight up mentioning the Winnower, and then I can't remember, there was a not gray ship lore then with the final shape, and then you had the lore anthology, the Grimoire anthology book, that the one that just came out, that had a lot of like, the kind
Yes,
of light and darkness
yes.
stuff in it. You had new lore from the Winnower in that, and now with Heresy you have the artifact thing, the artifact lore from the Winnower, and then you've got mentions of the Winnower from Oryx and all that, this, that, and the other. And the thing I keep on saying to myself and then to friends is, I had this saying back in the day, which is that repetition makes a pattern, and a pattern has meaning. And what's really interesting is that, like, Edge of Fate is not Winnower themed. There's no mention of that going on. It's all Night themed. But ever since Final Shape, we've had like 5 or 6 different pieces of lore about this one character, and that's all like that's creating a line that's going in the direction to somewhere. So something's going
Definitely.
to happen, and that's what I'm really looking forward to.
And when you have the Fate saga, like the Winnower, like you could connect that to the Winnower too. Still, like he's, you know, he's got his opinions on what the fate of, like, you know, existence should be
Mm-hmm.
ultimately. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I do have like I won't give it away because I don't want to give it away to my chat. I'll tell you guys after stream. But if I'm right about this, I think the Winnower does connect to the 9 in some way. Kind of like, well, like not like directly, but like indirect. Okay, that's indirect. But like, with the Lord of Every Nothing thing, or sorry, Lord of what's his name?
The Lord of Every Nothing.
Yes. I'm losing. I don't know why. I've had a long day. But I found something. if I'm right, I think he's connected to 9, whoever that is. Well, I think I know who it is. I don't want to give away from my chat. I'll take this after stream, but I'm really confident in what I found.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Honestly, the more I kind of hear, the less confident I am in the theory I personally made. But the one thing I'm still concrete on is I don't think the Lord of Every Nothing is working against the Winnower. Because everything it's done so far that we know of has gone with its logic, not against. Taking things by force, which it has been doing in the Ascendant Plane, that goes fully with what the Winnower likes to see in its subjects.
Yeah, definitely, I agree, 100%. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the Lord of Every Nothing. It's really interesting.
I do genuinely wonder if they're ever going to go back and do anything with the name Nastareth. I genuinely will see. Who knows?
You really like that, man. Do you like that name?
I mean, it's.
I think they would. I think they will. Cause okay, this has been I've been seeing this over the past few months, but it's like that pattern. I think Venextron you're saying, with there have been okay, I was just on my stream the other day to you in chat, Ultra, but they've been kind of drawing from the old ideas of what should have been Destiny 3, and they're kind of reintroducing them back. And I'm seeing this with, first is the cutscene in Heresy with Zevo Wrath's, Throne World, but it's the same, it's the same, almost Enceladus-like environment with the tower that looks like the Scarlet Keep. Same, that's that concept art from Enceladus.
Mm-hmm.
That the stuff from Kepler, with that ship, which looks like, again, that concept art from Enceladus. This reminds me of that when I first saw it.
Yeah, true.
The whole Sabathoon's plan of wanting to escape, and with the black holes and everything, that was her original plan, that she went to go do this little light, but it seemed like she's going back to the idea. The things with, the Dredgens in that whole idea that we're going to go interact with them, and there would have been that Civil War type thing. We're interacting with a new Dredgen in Renegades. It's these are stories and ideas that would have been in Destiny 3, but now they're kind of reintroducing them and it back into, the current Destiny. Winnower too. Winnower's been, from almost nothing for the past few years to 6 references in the last few months. So it's to me, I'm just seeing a lot of the stuff that they didn't touch for years, and it was their original ideas for Destiny 3 that it's being brought back. I think I'm just thinking, what else could they do? Chicago too. Chicago was a thing they're setting up. So it's the more I think about this, the more I'm realizing, this is stuff from the old that they're just, it's it's what should have been or what was going to be. Yeah. Now it's being brought back.
I do feel like I kind of need to give a disclaimer. I said this to Ultra, but I'll just say this to you, and then I guess the chat as well. So I have a friend who has talked with Seth Dickinson, and this is the guy he's done a lot of the written lore for D1 and probably a lot of the really the big boy stuff for D2. And basically he asked him about the Nastareth specifically, and Seth didn't really remember writing that, but he did say some point around that era he wrote something, and it was more of an Easter egg and a reference to his other non-Destiny writing, but he didn't remember exactly what it was. So there's a chance that Nastareth was written with a specific intent, Destiny related, but there's also a chance it was just an Easter egg. So I feel I kind of just have to put the disclaimer out there, just to be kind of cautious, because but that being said, even if it was an Easter egg, Seth, he's not really involved anymore. This was years ago, and so I could 100% see Bungie taking that kind of concept and then doing something with it in the future. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there.
I got you.
For sure. And I also told Ven this already as well. I do think that it's the most likely answer is it was just an old name / title to refer to Nezarec by, just because of how similar it is. Nezarec, 3 syllables. Naztareth, also 3 syllables. So I think it's very possible that they could have, because I think because D2 was in development by that time, so I think it very much could have been just an older name.
Actually, going back to the I think what Abbadon was saying about them kind of how like the winner was like just kind of nothing, and then they were kind of doing more with the character now. I remember, I think I was talking both to you, Abbadon, and Ultra about the Sunder Doctrine lore with the chisel, and that's also a very intentional thing on Bungie's part, doing that for sure. It's very interesting seeing that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I made a whole video about that. I forgot, but yeah, like it's a lot of like intentionality. I'm just seeing like this is not an accident. So I'm like wondering what other like lore or like concepts they never really touched on, or that they were meaning to and they never got around to. Like what could be brought back? Is what I'm thinking. Like what? I think a character I think we have a great chance of seeing in the next few years is Lavinia from the 9 lore.
I would be so. That's like my favorite bit of 9 lore. And I would love to see that. So happy if they did that.
Like, her story is just so interesting.
Yeah.
And I hope they do more with that, which I think, good chance they will.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that was when we first learned about one of the 9 being punished. And that whole idea and the whole even concept of the 9 not being unified, of like the 2 different factions. And what's really interesting is that this is like I talk about Edge of Fate kind of being like a reboot for the faction in some ways, but that whole idea of the split motivations and kind of goals within the 9, they've kept that, and if anything, they're even more divided now. And
definitely they are.
I could really see them going back to that older lore. Yeah.
Okay. What dungeon do we want to do, by the way?
Master
question.
Ghost of the Deep, because I just hate my life.
Hmm.
No, I don't really care, dude.
Yeah, I'm fine with any.
Okay, if you guys don't have a preference, I think we should do a Vespers, because I have been trying to get that auto with jolting feedback, and it just will not drop it for me. And in that instance, I actually already did it once on my Hunter, so I'm going to switch to... I think I'll play on my Warlock.
Sure. Yeah, the auto hasn't dropped for me either, because I've never done the dungeon. So maybe I'll get it this time.
This will be your first time.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Okay,
I watched I watched your video on the dungeon, and no, you did a really good job with making it really immersive, and it was very creative. So
thank
you did a
you.
really good
Thank
job,
you.
man.
I love that you've started doing like the machinima kind of thing with it, where you got the characters
I
moving
love
around.
It. I love doing it. It's like I don't see a lot of people doing it,
Yeah.
And I feel like it brings to life the lore. It gets more people interested. Which that video, I don't know how that video did so well. The Vespers host one, like, it gets views every day still, and it's like sitting at like 100,000 something now. It's like, wow, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Okay.
I think if we're being honest, I think it's a combination of things. Like, first of all, like, it's just a great video, so obviously if somebody's gonna watch it, they're probably gonna enjoy it, right? But things like, the title and the thumbnail are also big factors. I've noticed watching your videos, especially like early on, your pacing is very good. Like in terms of your intro, you're very fast and to the point, and it's very kind of fast paced, and that keeps the viewer, like the attention span, like the goldfish people, like still invested and interested. And so I think it's just it works, and yeah, no, I think you should be proud of it, man.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Means a lot coming from you.
Nah, dude.
My channel is sporadic as fuck. Like, I think my two most viewed videos are ones of like stuff I'm not as like. I'll make like I'll make like a video where I'm talking about the gardener or the winnower or something. It'll get a couple hundred views, but then my Savathun video and then my Lord of Every Nothing video both have like 1K plus views. My Lord of Every Nothing video is by far my most viewed. Actually, speaking of which, this shocked me. I was watching Bife's stream earlier, and I was talking in chat, and he implied that he knows about my stuff, which genuinely surprised me.
Oh, really? That's awesome, bro. Do you know what his exact what did he say?
He said, let me pull the video up on Discord just so I can look at the exact quote. Let's see.
Without name dropping them as well. We are very scant on lore. We have barely any idea.
I'm watching the video I recorded of it.
You'll know this too, seeing as I know Ultra, you do lore things too.
Yeah, he said, seeing as Ultra, I know you do lore things too. Very small. It wasn't like I like your stuff or whatever, but like still, I'm like genuinely,
Yeah.
Because I got like 160 subscribers. I'm genuinely surprised. Like it's not a huge deal, but I think it's cool. He seems like a chill dude. I've been watching him for a long time. I think like genuinely, I think because I've been watching him since Taken King, so. I was watching him when I was like 12 or 13, and I am 21 now, so long time. Been a long time. That is one thing
When did you get into... Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, you can go. You're good.
No, I was just gonna ask, when did you get into Destiny, Abbadon?
Oh, okay, so, it's a long story. No, long story. So, because I'm the youngest between you guys.
How old are you?
I'm 18. I'm 18 this year.
Bro, I feel so old, man. What happened?
But I got into Destiny because my dad started playing.
Oh, interesting.
Like a month after it came out, so I started getting into it in 2014. I didn't only start playing for myself until Taken King. But in terms of getting into Destiny lore, I've always been like, always interested in the story and making my own theories, but I didn't actually start like reading it and actually getting into it until like 2 years ago, maybe. Really, honestly, last year, like last May, when I watched your video, Ben, on the Gardener and the Winnower, the big one, like that one. That one got me into it, I will say. Like, that one got me into making videos. So I watched that, then I made mine. My first one, a few weeks after that.
That's crazy, dude.
So, like, ever since, really then, I've been, like, totally into the lore and trying to, catch myself up and make sure I know everything. Because I never really, I guess, the first time I actually read a lore book was Unveiling last year. Around then, because I read lore here and there, but I wouldn't call myself like a very knowledgeable of the lore. I just killed myself. Until then, so yeah, pretty recently.
I'm good.
I'm also completely lost, by the way. I don't know where you guys went.
There's like, can I jump back up there? I'm on Prismatic Warlocks. I can't use my grapples. Oh,
I think I found it.
Okay, it's like a hole in the wall.
I just think that's really interesting because I'll give you a little bit of like a backstory for that unveiling video. I made a video about it was, and I kind of regret it because like it ended up really blowing up, and it's a video I didn't actually like want to blow up because it was just a normal video, but the title and the thumbnail made it seem like it was like a rage bait whatever video, and it wasn't. And the point of the video was just like that Final Shape had to try and like connect all these different stories and give them a payoff, and I just had no idea how the narrative team was going to do that, but that ended up blowing up. And then the video after that was about why I believed the second saga should have like the Winnower as the main antagonist. And then I had a lot of people in the comments saying like, actually in both videos, saying like, no, the Winnower's not real and it's just the Witness and like whatever. So then I was like, it really kind of irked me, and I was like, okay, I just have to put my thought out there and try and like finish this kind of debate, because like I'd been talking about this subject for a while, and I've been looking at the discourse online, and I want to be clear as well, like this isn't like just me, Mr. Megamind know-it-all, right? Like I've got friends that are way more knowledgeable about the lore than I am, and especially like I've got, you know, friends who know a lot about like the really OG D1 concepts and stuff like that. And so yeah, no, I was working on that video, and I was trying to connect all the dots and just go all the way back through the lore. And the point of it, it wasn't to necessarily say like absolutely 100% the Winnower is real. It was really just to say, and the Gardener, it was to say even if they don't go through with this, this is what it was. So it was never that they never existed at all. And yeah, no, the video was like, took me ages to make, and put it out there. And you know what's funny? I'm just going to be completely transparent with you. So I released the video, and I had no idea it was going to like do well or anything like that. And I go onto Reddit, the bane of my existence, by the way, and everybody's crapping on it. And they're talking about how I'm like this and I'm that, and this is whatever and that is whatever. And dude, I was like, oh great, okay, I just spent like the last however many weeks or months making this video, and it's just gonna get trashed. And then Blythe ended up watching it, and then it ends up blowing up. And then I go back to Reddit, and everybody's like, oh, I always believed in Ven. Oh, he's a great guy. Oh, the video is really good. And I'm like, okay, look, well, you know. But no, that's crazy, dude, that did that. And no, I think it's great, even if just a couple people got into the lore because of that. That wasn't my intention, but that's even better than the views, honestly. But anyway, I need to know what the mechanics are, because all I see is a really nice skybox. And I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I mean, I think what you can do is, I mean, unless you
I can
like
kill enemies really well.
Yeah, that's so because someone does just like, we do just need one dude to stand back here and kill Briggs that spawn in, so
Okay.
that works.
I can do that.
Airman, I kind of know what to do. I can
Well, I
look
spent
at
a lot of
some-
time here, so I know
Yeah.
the mechanic run back.
I was so convinced that thing was like a pyramid thing when they released the teaser
I was hoping
image.
it was.
Yeah, I thought that too. It kind of looks like it, but then you can start
Yeah.
to see like the pollen and like the Vex influence. And
It's
like,
It's orange arc.
yeah, I want them to talk more about that, because that's so. It's so interesting. Like why? Like it's just
Yeah.
here and it's nowhere else. I hope that shows up later. I mean, it definitely will, because this dungeon is just foreshadowing
Yes.
a lot. So it's gonna come up again, but just so.
I mean,
don't
this
know.
was like the first kind of Edge of Fate teaser in some ways, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because there's that message with Lodi transmitting, and I'm just so happy, by the way, that I was right about my prediction about Lodi, because that's just, it makes me so happy, because in my Vesper Sos video I connect Lodi to the song and the city, and in my predictions that it's this man out of time like Odysseus, and or not out of time because I know it's time, but like, you know, not where he's supposed to be, and he's exactly like that in the Edge of Fate, and even with like this was not even like I'm just so inspired by this. Like he's there by like, there's a bunch of train imagery from in the Edge of Fate, so it's like he was brought by a train or whatever. In the song, Lodi is talking about a train and him on the train, so it's like wow, that's definitely intentional.
I would never ever make that connection on my own. Not gonna lie. I like lore, but I'm also not great at I'm not as great at digging as some people are. Which is so fun. In my friend groups, I was always like the lore guy. I think literally they call me involuntarily they would call me Lore Daddy Jr. And but it wasn't until I started talking to them when I was like, oh my god, I know nothing. It was like it was like a Neo Red Pill Matrix moment. It was so crazy. I've learned so much.
Yeah, that's how it's kind of been. Like last summer, I was like, so because I went like digging last summer for stuff on like the stat and cut and like learning about that because I knew there was a stat and cut. I read that Kotaku article, I knew of it, but I didn't know how deep it went until last summer. I would spend like so long just learning and just like I was like, wow, I don't know anything.
Yeah, it's crazy, this game.
I think for me that it kind of began in D1, but not really, because like when we were playing through D1, there's like all the cut content and like the whole feeling of, well, this should have been more. So I was always curious, especially with the story. So I was always kind of curious, like what's actually kind of going on. But I think I only really started to like dig into things post Shadowkeep because of the pyramid stuff. Because basically, it can all be boiled down to, I went into the pyramid on the moon, I saw stuff in that pyramid, and then I saw that same stuff in that concept art of the Pyramid City, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's like been planned, this is all kind of connected, and this goes way back. I need to learn about that. And then yeah, I would say like if I'm being completely real with you, my biggest Matrix moment was probably like last year. So like starting off last year, I learned a lot more about the Gardener and Winnower, like with D1 and stuff like that. And then post Final Shape, I pretty much got all of my answers that I wanted. Or rather, actually, I wish I didn't get now about the pyramids. And yeah, it's one of those things, and I think both of you can relate to it, where you play the game and you look at it one way, and then as soon as you learn some stuff, you look at it completely differently. Both like as the world and the actual video game. It's a very interesting experience, to be sure.
Yeah, definitely. It just really opens like your eye up to everything. It's like it's a weird experience to kind of go, because like your knowledge just like the way you view it just changes compared to like the average Destiny player. That's like the
that's
biggest
bad.
thing.
Oh wait, I'm alive. Okay, please do not freeze me. Okay, I'm gonna drop this because I'm about to get cancer and die. Radiation. I think that's funny that it's a Guardian's main two weaknesses are other paracausal forces and dropping the sun on them. But yeah, I think ever since I really played the game, I was interested in the world, because I had grown up with Bungie stuff because my older brothers like were big Halo fans. So I've been playing Halo since I was like 6 or 7. Then I got into I've told Ven this already. I love my my story of like getting Destiny. I had like $10 or something I could spend, and I went to GameStop and I was like, I want to buy a video game, because I was like a little 11-year-old boy, and I saw Destiny on the shelf and it was only $5, and I was like, oh, I want to play Destiny, and I got it, and I spent all day downloading the updates because I have a slow computer, or not computer.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I had really bad Wi-Fi. Don't get CenturyLink. That's my advice to all of you. CenturyLink sucks. And then, yeah, I immediately was like, oh, this is cool. My one experience I remember is because I started playing during the Taken King, and so I didn't know that the patrol. At first, I did not know that like the patrol zones weren't missions. So I was like walking around like, what am I supposed to do in here? And I ended up wandering into where like the Eyes of Crota, the acolytes from like the Dark Below, spawn in. And this knight, like with a knight that you kill to like spawn them in, I stumbled across him and I couldn't do any damage. And so I panicked and I ran out. Like, I ran out and I didn't look back. And that's like a core memory of that. Where I was like, dude, this game's crazy. But then when I really got into the lore was when I first read that, like, saw stuff about the Books of Sorrow. I was like, oh my god, this is like a whole book in and of itself. Like, you could publish that as its own book and no one would bat an eye, really. Like, that's how well written it is. And even back then I was like, I wanna write Destiny stuff. It's just, back then it was a lot worse than it is now. I'll say it because it's funny. Ever since the game that had a big influence on me was Super Smash Bros. Brawl and the Subspace Emissary. I promise you this is relevant. And so because of that, like, little story mode, I was like really obsessed with like crossover stuff. So I think my first thing I ever like wrote in terms of Destiny stuff when I was 13 years old, mind you, so keep that in mind. I was a 13-year-old. I don't think any 13-year-old writes anything good. The first Destiny thing I ever wrote was a Destiny Steven Universe crossover.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
You're giving Bungie ideas, man. Stop it. After Renegades, we're gonna get.
You're so right. That would. Oh my god, that would be so funny. Actually. But yeah, that's kind of it continued. That kind of thing did continue a lot longer than it should, because another thing I was invested in this for like far too long is I came up with like an idea of like a story where the second collapse happens and the pyramids like win, and they invade the multiverse basically. And so it's like, oh, all of like, so it's like the entire, everything's getting like genocided by the pyramids, and like their like evil commander man who works underneath the Winnower. And I think the plot I came up with was, John Pyramid's trying to get the Infinity Stones and we have to stop him. Show me what we need to shoot, by the way. I'm so sorry. I have not been paying attention.
Oh, and this one too.
I'm so focused on sharing my cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one up here. As we're loading.
Okay. I promise everyone watching, the stuff I write's a lot better now. I think. I hope.
That's the first one? Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, you told me to kill the Briggs. This is a much bigger Brig.
The bigger they are,
It's
the
like a
harder
big
they
boy
fall.
Brig.
Is there something I can dunk my...
Nimbus.
Oh, you're so right. He does say that.
Was that intentional or is that?
That was not intentional, no.
Okay. I was like, oh, I've seen that so many like in so many memes. Just that line at this point.
And he says that. I think about that a lot. I'm surprised no one's made one of like those like meme videos where they do like a JPEG thing where they're like talking to each other, and Kaido's like, "Oh, that's my dead father. That's very insensitive. Think before you speak next time." And he's like, "Oh, sorry about that."
I feel bad for the voice actor because
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's one of those things where people can not like a character and then they just assume that the voice actor is like bad. But like, for all you know, the voice actor was like trying not to say what we got, and then the people that were directing them were like, no, you have to say it like this. So I do feel bad for them. Like, I hope they didn't get any like IRL hate, you know.
For sure, that's genuine. I think hating a voice actor for like a story they didn't write, to be a little blunt, I think it's genuinely one of the most ape-brain stupid things you can do. Because that's what happened to like baby boy Anakin's poor actor.
Yeah, Jake Lloyd.
Is critics like bashed that movie, and people in his school made fun of him, and he went crazy. And he kicked his mom in the stomach and got in a police chase.
Well, okay, wait. To be clear, because I did look into that. So I think he may have been diagnosed with schizophrenia, or like, it was some kind of. Sorry, I don't want to get it wrong, but it was some kind of. He had issues, right? But it was clear that this wasn't purely because of what happened. Like it just.
Well,
it was something that kind of manifested over time. So I do want to be just kind of clear. It wasn't like, because of the hate, he went like crazy or anything.
It is still very sad, though.
No, it is. Absolutely. But from what I've heard, he's doing a lot better now. So
that's good.
That's good.
I've heard that he voices, Anakin in a lot of the Lego stuff still. The, like, kid Anakin.
Cool. I didn't even know that.
I've at least heard
How do you
of
pull
that.
that off?
I have
Dude's
no
like
idea.
in his 30s or something, and then...
I mean, some people's voices just don't age as they do. I sound like I'm 15, but I'm a grown man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm actually 2. I'm just really smart. I'm like, there's gotta be like some movie made in 2005 that got like 3 stars on Rotten Tomatoes with that exact premise. There is oh jeez, I got killed. What's that? There is a movie with a talking baby, but I forget what it's called. It's not like a smart baby, you can just hear it speak.
I have no idea.
I don't remember. Destiny lore.
I've got a question related about the 9, because this was something that was going around quite a lot. By the way, I have no idea. Do we just run past this guy and hope for the best, or is there like?
Oh yeah.
We're trying to put in these nukes into these different containers to open up the door.
Yeah, you have to run around.
You're coming here.
I'm just gonna.
I got 2 of them so far.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's. Because you have to. There's power and you have to close doors. It's just like the.
Sorry, keep going.
I was going to say it's just like the real game. But go on. I apologize.
No, I was gonna continue my question and just ask. Who do you think, or what do you think the Lord of Every Nothing or whatever it's called? Not necessarily like their motivations or like whatever, but like who like do you have an idea of like the identity of the character?
I think
I know Abbadon, you didn't want to like spoil or whatever.
Yes,
so
I have a theory. I have a really strong idea for who I think it is, but it's I'll wait. I'll tell you after stream because
okay.
I want to make it cool for the video, so I don't want to spoil for my chat. But I do have an idea.
Sure. What about you, Ultra?
Well, I made my the videos also. I'll just talk about it. My theory was that it was it was like the one of like the void gods or whatever.
Oh, like old gods.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think specifically what I got into in my video was that it was gonna be like they all like it's just multiple things. So my theory was that it was gonna be like tied to that it was gonna be like Nezarec was like part of like the same pantheon, and that ties back to like the Nazareth thing. So like their names are similar. Yeah. So it was like Nazareth and Nezarec are like part of like the same pantheon of gods or whatever. The more time goes on though, the less I'm kind of convinced of that though.
I think if it was old god related, I think there would have been more void related things, at least in a clearer sense. But I can see kind of like I think based off of like the visual design of like the tentacles and stuff like that, because like when you think of old gods, maybe like you don't know like your like mythology or whatever, but it makes me think of like Cthulhu and like these eldritch entities, and so I can kind of see where you would kind of make that connection. But I don't know. It kind of goes back to what we were saying about Bungie connecting things from the past. I don't know if or when we're gonna hear about the old gods, because the concept that's kind of, unless I'm wrong, you can correct me, but I don't think we've really heard about these characters since they were like mentioned in Witch Queen, right?
And to my knowledge, no.
Yeah, I think it's just off that one aspect, right?
Yeah. My take, so far I don't think I've really changed it. My opinion is I think that it's actually one of the 9. And my opinion is, because I was going to make a video about it, but the stuff that I'm working on now, I don't know when it's going to be ready. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it's not what I'm going to say now. So I don't mind really saying it. My personal theory is that this Lord of Every Nothing is the member of the 9 that was punished. And I also think that if I had to pick one of the 9, like in terms of locations, I think it's possibly Mercury. And I think there's some in-game stuff that's connected to, like, that kind of ties to that theory. And I think as well from a motivation standpoint, the 9 are obsessed with trying to get real bodies and trying to, like, escape the confines of their, prison, if you want to call it that. And I think this Lord of Every Nothing character, if it's an ostracized or a disillusioned member of the 9 that belonged to a planet that's kind of not only got turned into a Vex computer, but then also got half eaten by the Almighty, probably not super sane and probably not very happy, and so maybe took this power gap or whatever, like in Heresy, as an opportunity. And we also know that the 9 are connected to Taken through their realm and Drifter and all of that, so it's not like and so that's kind of my theory on it. If it isn't a member of the 9, like Mercury is just kind of like, oh, like what? Because the fact is, like, we don't have Mercury back yet, but ever since the Final Shape Collector's Edition lore, Mercury's been mentioned. And I think there was even, I don't know which stream it was, there was a Bungie guy, person who said something along the lines of, oh, like, Mercury's not back yet, which kind of implies it might be coming back. And so that's just my kind of opinion on it. Maybe it's not Mercury, maybe it's not the member that was punished, but I do think there's a good chance it's a member of the 9. If it's not a member of the 9, then I really couldn't tell you.
Zargway.
Zorpalots.
Swing and a miss, slugger. That's what he sounds. He's a New Yorker who smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That's what I imagine he sounds like. In one of my videos, I was originally going to make like a whole gag of that. where like their ship is like the most stereotypical flying saucer you can think of. And I was
We had our era of Doritos. Now get ready for the Pringles.
They're so right. The Slugarian sliders. That's what they're called.
Do I need to know like mechanics for this, or does it not really matter? Or I don't know how like.
I think for this one you can do the same thing. You don't dungeons, because dungeons you can it's pretty easy to
solo them.
You can.
All right.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know the mechanics, but like I know how to left click, and I know how to left click quite a bit, and I like left clicking quite a bit, so I can do that. No problem. I'll just kill everything.
Okay.
You know, just doing this dungeon, I do want to see Clovis make a return. That'd be great.
I want him to be like a villain. Like.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like what they did with him in what was it? What was the name of the? Was it Surf? Yeah, it was Surf. They kind of made him into like a bit of a meme, like what's the term? Like almost like a comedic relief type thing, where he says something and everyone's like, "Oh, Clovis, you're so stupid. You're so silly."
I definitely got that vibe where he'd be like, "According to my calculations, blah blah blah," and then, Anna would just call him a chud or something. There's definitely that kind of vibe. I don't know. I like when characters like that are taken more seriously.
By the way, do I want to kill this machine priest or no?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was gonna like trigger something.
Okay, in this next room, there's gonna be a bunch of explosive shanks, so do be careful of that.
Okay.
I'm very proud of my my project and kind of what I've been doing with Clovis and my project. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I remember you telling me
to show
about it,
more.
I take operator. I'm gonna die, I think. Yeah.
I can. What's the button you press? Because I have not used it.
It's grenade.
Oh, right.
Okay. No! Evil. I'm unfortunately quite slow.
Which ones are blue?
I think I got, like...
I think it's 2 and 8. Looks like it's 2 and 8.
Wait a minute. That guy's all the way over there. 2... Yep, 2 and 8. I guess just in case, I will... I play on controller, so I can't always use the keyboard. I don't know. That's what I'm used to. I know mouse and keyboard, it's like much more tactically sound, but I'm too stubborn in my old ways to bother learning. Because I didn't get a PC until like after Lightfall came out.
I was like
Really?
that for a while. Yeah, I remember when D2 came out. I'm gonna die here because I'm out of bounds. I remember I only used controller on PC until Forsaken, and then I actually tried to learn how to use a mouse. It took me a while, man. It's not as easy as it sounds going from controller to mouse and keyboard for first-person shooters, especially for a game that you played on controller the whole time.
Yeah, I was on Xbox for like, I think until Beyond Light, or the Beyond Light year. So it was jarring to get used to it.
I was very convinced I was not gonna. That was definitely the closest I've ever come to quitting Destiny. Was that expansion?
Oh, which Beyond Light?
Not Beyond Light, Lightfall.
Lightfall, right?
It didn't really set in for me until Lightfall.
I think Lightfall, after I played the campaign, that was when I knew that there was like irreversible damage done in terms of the story. And I think they salvaged like a lot of it, but just there were other things where I was like, okay, like you can't change this in time for the end. And that was kind of scary. But
Yeah, I remember doing the campaign with like my friends on the day one, like when it came out, and I just had a really uneasy feeling going through it. Like as it went on, I was like, not good. And then I remember beating it, and they were just like, you know, they didn't really care about the story. Like I've always been into the story, and I just knew it's not good. They didn't really care. But they knew it was bad too. They were like, that was kind of bad, and they weren't invested in it at all. And I was to a point. But I remember looking like on Twitter after, and it was not good.
yeah.
Let me. Do you have to shoot them in the order you see them? I assume not.
Oh no, it's
Okay.
doesn't matter.
7, okay, 2, 6.
And then also the final nail in the coffin though for me was Root of Nightmares. Like the raid itself, it's grown on me as a raid. But I remember I did the day one. Yeah, like I really enjoy it now, but when I did it on day one, because I did the day one raid, and usually when I did day one raids before, like I didn't ever clear it with my team, and we cleared it in like 6 hours, and I was like, okay, you know, why is this so fast? Because I knew like, I like part of me just likes when the day one raids takes, you know, the teams forever to beat, and it's just something really difficult. I feel like that just makes the experience more memorable, and just I don't know, I prefer it whenever it's just like a drawn out thing. Like Salvation's Edge, like I loved how that one took 18 hours or however long it took. So when it was a short completion, it didn't really feel right to me. Like that whole expansion was really it didn't feel right at all. Even back then for me. Now looking back on it, I was like, oh yeah. I can't believe how it must have felt for like you being so invested in like the lore, and I really wasn't at that time. So
Yeah, my thing, because so I remember, I mean, we were all hyped for Lightfall, and okay, so Ultra said that he kind of was nearly going to quit with Lightfall. For me, it was actually Beyond Light, because, like I said, after Shadowkeep, I was like really getting into the pyramids, and I was like really excited. And here I am, like I was thinking like, this is all going to be building up for Beyond Light. And then when Beyond Light happened, I was like, well, what happened? Like, what was the point of this? And I was just so disillusioned. And I genuinely did not care about Witch Queen, like when it was announced and all that, because I didn't really care about Savathûn or whatever. So I eventually got it mainly because I wanted to do like the Pyramid Raid. And then you had all the architecture and Rogue and the raid. Like I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be insane. And then I was like, yeah, there's no way like we're not gonna get like a pyramid destination or something in the next expansion. Or yeah, I remember there's like a leak for the Lightfall trailer, like a screenshot of the trailer. And I remember seeing what the city looked like and what the Guardians looked like, and I was immediately like, okay, I've got a bad feeling about this. And my friends were like, oh, this looks really cool, no? And I'm like, I don't know.
I am very confused.
And then I saw the trailer, and I was just like, I really don't know about this. And then Nezarec, I was really excited about that. I never wanted him to be an enemy from the beginning. Like, I figured he would be an enemy eventually, but I kind of wanted it to be a bit of a more interesting dynamic. And I remember, for example, right, my friend group, we were like, at the time, we were like, yeah, we're going to get the Lightfall Collector's Edition. Like, if there's ever going to be, like, a Collector's Edition that you get, it should be, like, Lightfall. And I looked at the Collector's Edition for Lightfall, and I saw the price of it, and I saw what you got, and I was like, But then I saw, at the same time as the announcement, they had that Nezarec Sin statue thing, like the little helmet replica. And I was like, okay, that's going to be my collector's edition, like, treat, whatever. So I bought that. And then Yeah, like I heard the data mine audio of his voice. I thought his voice sounded amazing.
His voice actor
And-
kills it, for sure.
Oh my goodness, dude. And then like the whispers and stuff like that. I was like, okay, okay. And then I saw the data mined model of the character. And I was just like, what is going on? And so yeah, no, I played through Lightfall and I didn't like the gameplay of it because of the way they constantly gave you strand and took it away from you. Didn't like the characters. And then with Nezarec, I was just like, what is this? Like, this was just not a fun time at all. And then, like, I can't really say anything about the Witness because nothing really happened with the character. And if anything, I think the thing I was most kind of laughing about is like, okay, the dude is in the Traveler for a full year. There's no way that the character doesn't win in that time frame. Like, it kind of defied my, like, belief or immersion or whatever. And, yeah, I don't know. I have my own theories about why Lightfall happened the way it did and why the final shape happened the way it did. But, I probably wouldn't talk about that on stream.
Gotcha. Yeah. Careful for sure. I wonder what's going on too, though. Like, just the way there must be an interesting story as to how life looking to be and changed.
I don't, for the record, like, I will say this, I do not think it's the developers' like fault. I think this was an upper management type.
Oh,
situation.
100%. Everything about Lightfall screams corporate meddling, even like down to just the very aesthetic of the expansion itself.
True.
Because the 80s synthwave thing has been done over and over and over. That's not something you do unless you're like desperate for your product to sell.
I feel like a lot of the problems come from just leadership at this point.
I should probably shoot the things. I forgot I was the one doing that. 4316. Uh-oh. Does getting teleported up here again change anything? Or is it still the same?
I don't think so. Wait, did we get all of them?
Yeah, we got 4.
I kind of forgot.
Here. We'll see. We're about to find out.
Let me just check to make sure.
Ooh, is operator even down here? Oh, yeah. Here we go.
It looks like it should be, yeah. I think we did get them all. Or the right ones.
Okay. Let's see.
I think we just didn't do it in time.
Okay, 4316. 6. 4 1. Where's 3? 3. Where are you? I can't. Ugh, I got eyes of a not good variety.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm dead.
I'll get you back up, friendo. All of you.
That was actually good damage.
Yeah, this boss is interesting because,
Parasite.
yeah, believe it or not, Wardcliff is definitely the play for this guy. Or Behemoth.
Yeah, it's like the one encounter where Stasis Time is super is really good.
I wish Blade
remember
Barrage was
they-
on Prismatic. That's what I want. So bad.
Yeah, true. I remember they were saying like they're nerfing like a lot of stasis stuff. Do you think that makes the stasis subclasses like kind of obsolete with Edge of Fate, or like what's the situation with that?
From what I can tell, I think it's they're nerfing it because of the show clip stuff you could do with Tanasha's Mastery and like Riptide, which I think, I don't know, I feel like you should just nerf the perk instead of the whole subclass. But I think it definitely does hurt it quite a bit though, because it's already probably it's on the weaker side of the subclasses. But I wonder what they're gonna respond with all the current like. I just killed myself.
You're good.
With like all the like the reactions the community's having right now, because it's been quite a like, I don't know, Twitter's been kind of crazy. It's always, it's Twitter, but you know, like worse than usual. Definitely because of the stream and the TWAB or TWID.
I think tomorrow's stream is going to be so important, and I think they know that. I think Bungie knows that.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it. I was like, I know they probably won't reveal much about the actual campaign, and I just want to hear as much as they can give away if it makes sense without revealing too much. Because I do like I know people are like, they're kind of worried that the expansion hasn't really been showed much. It's really been the system changes, and I'm of the opinion that it's by not showing much, they're keeping that mystery. Then the whole thing when like last year they were saying how they want the next saga to be really leading into the unknown and the mystery, like how old D1 was. Like early on, we didn't really know, everything was a mystery, which I love that. So
you see, there's a difference between that and not showing strikes or crucible maps. That's like,
that is
kind
true.
of.
That is true.
Then it comes down to like, what are you getting for your money? You know, I think that's what people are really kind of upset about. The fact that, like, I actually agree with you. Like, I think there should be mystery, especially with the campaign or even like the destination to a certain extent. But, like, for example, like with Forsaken, they weren't taking us around like the Dreaming City, really, if I remember correctly. Like I went into Forsaken not even knowing that the Dreaming City was its own destination. But when you're mainly seeing like the new changes and then it's being showcased on old seasonal activities and old expansion activities and not like a strike or a new activity from the expansion, you're like, So I think that's kind of...
Yeah, I do agree with that sentiment though, like, it's I guess it's hard to like market like to show what you want to, like, you know, just, you know, make your money worth it, but also it's like without revealing so much, you know, it must be hard.
Yeah. I think, I'll tell you this, I think if Edge of Fate comes out and they don't really reveal much, but there is actually stuff that they just weren't revealing, I think that then helps to create a better precedent moving forward for the future expansions. Because I think at the moment there's just kind of like, with a lot of people, a negative bias where it's not that they're just trying to be mysterious, it's that there's not the content to begin with and they're just trying not to talk about that. So I think if you can have more and more evidence to support, you know, the positive bias where they're just being mysterious, things will get better in the future. But for right now, they kind of have to earn that, and that's going to involve dealing with the kind of negative assumptions.
That is true, yeah.
Right, let's kill this
point.
meatball.
This horrid creature from hell.
I think I blew myself up with my own gun.
Let's go.
Why are you still alive? Get out of here. I got a helmet. That's not what I wanted.
I got
I
the
need the
grenade
grenade.
launcher. Oh, I just got it.
Oh, nice. I need the which one actually? Because there's two. There's a special grenade launcher. And
Oh,
a heavy.
I got chill inhibitor.
Oh, nice.
heavy.
That's the.
We got a new
That's the one
friend.
everyone-
Wait, I actually think it could be a good roll. I got Cascade Point and One for All. Is that any good?
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna.
I'm not like the most
That'd be a fun
yeah.
PvP roll, I think.
like the end game. You know, I really just go after what people tell me to grind. Like, go get this roll. Okay,
True. I use a light.gg. I find that really helpful, and
Cascade point is good though.
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna use this weapon though, because I've got a. I mean, I don't really use grenade launchers, but I have an Adept Trials grenade launcher with bait and switch that I really like, so I'm probably gonna keep that.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's like one servitor left just sitting here.
Oh no, that's a bug. I don't see it.
We gotta...
Oh yeah, I don't see it either.
Yeah, he's a pal of mine. Yeah, he's right here. I'm standing on top of him. That's awesome. I'm gonna name
I've got
him.
Wait, what are you gonna name him?
His name is gonna be Dwight D. Eisenhower. I don't know why. That's just the first name I thought of.
I've got another question. This is like not related. I mean, yeah, not really related to Edge of Fate, but the fact that they are, let me put it like this: the fact that they have officially made the Winnower canon, given him a personality. I use him. You can call it whatever. I don't really care. And it's, you know, a living being with its own personality and all that. It really raises the question of, okay, well then doesn't the opposite need to be true for the gardener, right? Because this is the other kind of half of that old debate where the gardener isn't her own character, it's just the big white ball, right? And so my opinion is I think now we're kind of at a point where the gardener has to be her own character. It's more of how they introduce her rather than if she's even real. And maybe some people will disagree with that, and that's perfectly fine. But my question, I guess, to you guys is, if you think the gardener is a real character or whatever, how do you think that they're going to go about, like, introducing that?
It's a great question.
It's good. I do think she's her own character, definitely. Just because of, I think it's like, it's hard when Bungie, like, they call the Traveler the gardener in Final Shape, but it's like, I do still think that the garden, like, the Traveler, just like, it's an avatar for the gardener, and the gardener's her own thing. And I say that because in the Final Shape, there's that, you know, Zavala has his whole arc, and there's dialogue in the I forget where it comes from. It's from one of the quests after, and he's talking about how the Traveler, like, this whole revelation they find through the Final Shape campaign, like, he learns that the Traveler isn't a cornerstone of the universe that he once thought, and I think that's such an important line. That to me is saying the cornerstones of the universe are the Gardener and the Winnower, because they fundamentally, they are the fundamental forces behind it. So when you're saying the Traveler isn't one, that's just saying, it's implying to me that, okay, Traveler is not the Gardener Winnower. Gardener Winnower are their own thing still. Or the Gardener herself is her own character, and the Traveler is an avatar. So, with that point though, I've got no idea how they're gonna introduce her. I think she's inevitable at this point to come. With the Winnower, if Winnower, you have the Gardener. You have to have, if you have one, you have the other. But I am of the theory though that she is now starting to kind of piece herself back together, like that whole line with Micah 10 in Final Shape, where she's talking about how she can feel, you know, the Gardener in this way, like her whole body's falling apart. Like, talks about her hands in a like a human way. So to me, it seems like she's, now that the witness is dead and there's a peace, she's just gonna probably slowly start to come back together. Well, I just don't know what would bring us to interact with her finally. I just wonder. I just don't know.
I think.
What do you think, Ultra?
In terms of us interacting with her, I think it would come down to how the symmetry between her and the winnower works, because as we know, there is the whole not the whole a lot of people tend to say, oh, the winnower is purely neutral, he's purely a spectator who just kind of pulls strings a bit but mainly watches things happen. From everything I see, I feel that has to only be a half truth. With the whole philosophy, because of the whole philosophy of the sword logic and the doctrine that the winnower preaches, I think that inevitably we would have to confront the winnower eventually, or else conflict between forces like the Hive and the Taken and the Soul Divisive and all of that will just never end. And I think that in the event where the winnower would feel the need to get directly involved, I think that is the point where the gardener will have to get involved directly as well. And in turn, as for the relationship between the traveler and the gardener, I think that there's two big things with that. I think the first one is in the Books of Sorrow, because we already know in the Books of Sorrow, the winnower is referred to as the deep itself. But the traveler, if the traveler were the gardener, you'd think they'd call the traveler the sky itself, or just the sky. But
nope.
They refer to it as the sky's bait star.
Yep.
As though it's not...
And in Final Shape, that wizard, Luzaku, makes that distinction with the gardener or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, too. I forgot about that.
And there's even older lore that alludes to that as well, because I think in Destiny 1, Osiris refers to Osiris calls the traveler a god incubator.
An ontoformer, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's speaker lore, and he says that's like Osiris's theory. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. The way I look at it, right? So first of all, you need to look at intent. So like with the winnower, right? I do genuinely believe that Bungie was planning on just having it be the witness, and then they changed their mind, and they have now gone down this route. And like maybe this is like, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but like in a very like, I don't know what the term is, like cynical or something like that, but I feel like they mainly did it because they needed something to continue on after the Final Shape, and the winnower just was a really great opportunity for that. So like, I'm, connecting the dots together, and I'm kind of piecing things, whatever, but I'm not, like, of this assumption, oh, they were planning on this all along. And I kind of feel the same way about the Gardener, where I do think the Gardener is very complicated, and to give them credit, it's a very complicated character to deal with, because this isn't like an enemy. This is a character who has to have a kind of like a more active relationship with the player character. So trying to figure out how do you fit that in, and the character's personality and origin story. Also keep in mind, both of these characters are connected to the Black Garden, which is an absolute mess story-wise, that whole destination or whatever. But now I think, yes, the winnower is a thing, and so by extension the gardener needs to be a thing. And if we're going off of like, okay, well, how do we fit this in the world? I think they may have given us an explanation in the Final Shape, as Abbadon alluded to, with the whole being kind of like fractured and slowly coming back together. From what I've read, my interpretation is Unveiling happened, and then once the universes were made and the Gardener and Winnower ended up in the Destiny universe, either by choice or just, I don't know, whatever, I kind of feel like it was choice, the Gardener forgot everything and came in as a blank slate with just the ideology. The Winnower remembers everything, as shown in Unveiling. And I'm not going to get into that as much, but with the collapse, the Gardener didn't just make us. She sacrificed herself by splitting up her whole personality and her power and all of that. So she's completely fractured, and that explains why she's not really talking or anything like that, because it's just kind of like messed up kind of dreams and whatever's, because this is like, okay, you guys probably don't know Warhammer 40k, but it's kind of like the
I
Emperor
know a
in
bit of
Warhammer
it.
40k, but yeah, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so as Fellowship says, you know, every time a Guardian and a Ghost dies, well, every time a Ghost dies specifically, a bit of that power goes back to the Gardener, and she is gradually getting more and more agency and more of a personality. For example, I think when Sundance was talking to Cade, I think that was the Gardener. There's new lore with Cinder Doctrine, where it's, I think, of the Witness first entering the Traveler, and the, you know, quote-unquote Gardener or whatever basically talks to it and is like, I think that was the Gardener. So I think the Gardener is now gradually coming back just because of the fact that more and more Guardians are dying, and so she's able to kind of reform herself. There's a huge but, though, which is that the Traveler is now corrupted. And I don't even mean just from like the Witness influence. Darkness is now inside the Traveler because of the link with the Veil. And we can't change that. That's done. It's irreversible. And because of that, it's not just that the Traveler is healing, it's changing. And I think by extension, the Gardener is as well. And so if the Gardener comes back, and I do think she will, I don't think it's going to be the Gardener that people are expecting. I think this is going to be a completely different, like, and this isn't just like, oh, a being with light and darkness, but it's also memories. And because of the whole darkness thing. So to kind of wrap it up, I think the Winnower, we can kind of have a bit of an idea of what we're going to be dealing with this character in terms of the actual person or the character. But with the Gardener, I don't actually know, because I think you're looking at something that is changing and that is kind of possibly corrupted. So that's my take. But sorry, just to quickly say, when do I think we'd be dealing with this? I think this is your end game. Like, this is your big boy end game story. And I wouldn't see us doing anything with this for at least a couple of years. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree about that. Definitely.
By the way,
this is
I'm
a-
again lost, so you can start the encounter if you want. I don't mind.
I think if we go up here, it'll just pull you. Let's see.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure it pulls you before the banner, which is very convenient.
Worst case scenario, I can always just leave and rejoin. I don't mind that.
It'll be fine. I hear these critters making noise. Ugh, no! Okay. I'm not good with the Warlock jump. A-Tracks.
Kind of unrelated, but I'll say that Heresy was a big W for me. It's probably the most I have enjoyed a Destiny story in a very long time. And if the writers that did Heresy are working on like Edge of Fate or Renegades, they do have like my complete confidence. Like, Heresy was that good for me, where whoever the writers were, if I don't know what they're working on now or what they will be working on, but those people specifically, they do have my faith. Absolutely.
Yeah, I loved Heresy so much. I know Alison Lors, she was in a Vidoc talking about Heresy and how she was working on it, and she's been prominently featured in the Edge of Fate interviews and stuff in the Vidocs, so I know she has a big part in Edge of Fate's story, and she did in Heresy's. So I'm really confident. And she's the, I think she's the narrative director too, so if she's the one in control, I'm very happy. Because Heresy was such a great story.
Yep.
And especially off of Revenant. Going
what happened,
through Revenant. And then Revenant to Heresy was such, like, it brought so much, like, I don't know.
The whiplash.
Brought hope. Yeah. There's a really, like, there's a duality between, like Revenant and Heresy. It's like, this is the same people or same game, you know.
Ooh.
I think if we wipe, he'll pull him.
Yeah, I'm pulled now.
Yeah,
no, I'm
so-
getting pulled now.
I mean, we need to get a banner anyway, so we.
Oh yeah, I
think
forgot
it'd
to switch my stuff. So
it'd be
yeah,
better
I'll need that banner.
be-
I'll need
I
the banner.
think Song of Flame. I think will be fine. I don't really got a well build because I don't play my warlock too much. I mainly just have my prismatic build.
My fear, because like I said, I do have faith in the writers, and like even like with some of the things I'm not as excited about for Edge of Fate, like I do think I view this as like an intermission period, so I'm not as like upset or worried about it. But my fear is I really don't want this whole saga to be about the 9. I don't think it's likely, but I don't want like the next like 2-3 years to be just about the 9, if that makes sense. That's just my own personal thing, though. I think if you're somebody who like really like that's like your favorite thing about the lore is the 9, then like you're probably like delighted. But for me, especially, it's like, again, we've been getting like what 5 or 6 pieces of lore now about the Winnower, and it's like, okay, I'm getting all this like stuff, but then like I have to sit through these years of just not that stuff. I'm like, but we'll see. It's a bit of a poor taste joke, but we'll see if the company's around.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh boy.
hopefully.
I hope so. But
Let's kill this Mamacita.
I am curious as to what the expansions after Renegades will be about. Shattered Cycle and the Alchemist, because
Something I've heard that's interesting.
could be
Shattered
anything.
Cycles. I doubt it, but an idea I've heard that's really cool is Shattered Cycles involving the Dreaming City in some way. That would be
Shattered
interesting.
Cycle.
Because the curse is kind of like a cycle.
oh yeah,
True, actually.
I saw that in a random comment. I can't remember who commented it. And I can't remember what video it was on either.
Wait, was it Alchemy or Alchemist?
the Alchemist. So it's a title of someone.
Yeah. Interesting.
I've seen theories that it could be like the title of a member of the 9, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards, because Destiny draws on alchemy, like it has in the past. So
Okay.
I think it could be anything. Honestly,
Which,
it could be anything at this point.
Where's
I
think
could
we're
see
due for-
Alchemy being like 9 related, or Alchemist being 9
Where's
Yeah.
I
Scanner?
could see that.
Oh, there's Scanner.
I do think we're due for a Hive expansion within the next few years.
I think
Um,
Heresy kind of set that up. Yeah.
Yeah, and Thunder Doctrine as well. Like, I think the dungeons of this past year are doing a lot of foreshadowing and setting up the future. So I think something Hive related soon. Maybe next year. Maybe one of next year's DLCs are about the Hive.
Yeah, I can just find the one number.
There's
and I'll-
Operator. Oh, did you do the...
Let's see. Okay, I need to shoot the ones. I forget that the way it works in here, you can do it by yourself very easily. So just shoot all the ones once you pick it up.
Got it?
Yeah, I mean, narratively, the unveiling stuff is my main investment. I'm not sure they're gonna do too much with pyramid stuff anymore, but we'll see. If they are, probably not for a while. Other than that,
I think
just
if they do, it's probably going to be through the lens of the Dread. I can see
true,
that being the
yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Honestly, what they've set up with the Dread has been interesting. I do think that they have a lot of potential to be a really cool faction. I would like to see more
Yeah.
Dread units, though. There is also, like, stuff that they just haven't acknowledged in a while, like the Drifter seeing the critters on the planet.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We can't
But
talk
I know what
about
you mean.
that. Though,
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like with me, I'm like, okay, I see sector purge imminent, and that makes me not want to be in this sector. Am I right in
Yeah. We
saying
gotta scan all of her clones, and then we gotta shoot the one.
It's this one up here, but next to me.
Okay.
Alright.
Then we gotta pick up that, and then we go in here.
Okay.
Oh, I got sniped.
Then come to me real quick. Oh, okay, you got him. We're about to get microwaved. Clovis and his microwaves. Imagine if he ritualistically sacrificed people. That would be crazy. Certainly he'd never do that. Right?
Yeah, it's just Grandpa. As Sarah would.
I think it's really funny how much you can compare Clovis Bray to William Afton. It's really funny.
Who?
William. That's the antagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's. That's like the murderer dude.
You know, you're not entirely wrong.
Oh dang.
Oh, I'm getting radiated. Oh, I gotta get out of this real quick.
Atrax and her army of petite short stack clones. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Do you guys like lore?
By the way,
like
I already prefer this to Ghost of the Deep.
This is a really neat dungeon.
I like it. I really like this dungeon.
Where are the other things I have to shoot? I'm looking for them. I'm a blind
Ghost of the
boy.
Deep is. It's a good. I feel like it's a good
Oh, here
first
we
time
go.
experience, but not anything after.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's a cool dungeon, but the mechanics, yeah.
Yeah.
The ocean is scurry. Where are these other buttons, man? I am so bad at looking for things.
Yeah, I got no idea where the location of these, because I just do the scanner part.
Oh goodness. Oh, here's another one. One more. I'm glad there's not a like a wipe timer for this. Guide. Oh god. Here, I have to put it away. Oh no. I'm gonna die, I'm afraid. Ugh. I
Oh, I
imagine.
actually took up operator.
I think I can just grab it off of you. No? Okay, just bring it over there and just deposit it, just like a deep stone. One thing I still really want to do is I want to see the Vex Star Forge.
Oh yeah, I want to as well.
I think that'd be a cool way to introduce the combat frame. Where is? I feel it's like a New Light Blueberry Grandpa right now. They literally glow red, and I can't see where this last one
Oh,
is.
Did you get this one on the ceiling?
Which one?
This?
I did get that one. Oh, it's behind the pillar. That is so mean. Ugh. I apologize for my horrid gameplay, everyone.
Okay, it's on me. This one right here. I spit up.
Oh, I got cancer. Ugh.
Pick up the thing.
Yep, and now we can just go right in here. Slurp that in.
What I was saying earlier is, I think with the pyramid stuff, I'm just kind of like emotionally detached from it at this point. And I think with the dread stuff, especially with Thunder Doctrine, it really feels to me like these are things either they wanted to do with Final Shape and they didn't have the time, or it's just, you know, they were like, okay, well now we have time to actually kind of flesh out this faction. Let's kind of, you know, whatever. So I kind of maybe it's a little petty, but I feel like these are things that kind of were supposed to be introduced with the faction. I am happy that we're getting it regardless, though, but I'm not super invested in them necessarily. I think... trying to think of what I... Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just happy to focus on other things, I guess. I don't know how else to say. It is what it is.
Yeah, I
okay,
get
this is
what
the
you
final
mean.
area.
Yes.
This is a very
These
chaotic
lights sound
DPS. Oh, yeah, good idea. Bolt charge. This will probably give you guys some more damage. Oh my god, I cannot stay on. My gameplay is so scuffed today. I don't think this can even reach her. Oh.
Okay, dang.
Grab the bomb real quick.
Yeah. Let's go in there.
So is that the full, like, phase?
Oh, we know we get more damage after this.
okay.
Yeah. It's actually quite a... It's a very generous damage phase, actually. I'm a lot more optimized on my hunter. But I can make do. Okay.
Alright, now we need to get out.
Oh, that was pretty good damage though. Half health. Not
I
bad.
got half.
Not
Very nice.
bad. Not too shabby. Don't know how much Song of Flame helps though. Might switch. No, I'm fine. I don't gotta worry about it.
Omega.
An interesting thing one of my friends brought up is I can't hear it as much myself, but he thinks that the AI in here sounds really similar to Elsie, and that it could be like a.
I can kind of hear it actually.
I'm trying to. How do I kill these guys? How do I? Oh, the grenade. Yeah.
Yeah, you just grenade.
I always forget that. Okay. I guess I'll just put this back. Okay. It is 2. Okay, so where is operator? There we go. Need one more 2. One more 2. Come on. Here we go.
Yeah, I can definitely hear that as Elsie.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's intentional or not, that's another question.
I'm just.
Yeah,
I'm wondering
it's
what
like
kind of.
voice acting.
I'm wondering what
Just-
kind of significance it would have. That's what I'm curious about. Like, if any.
Like with Clovis.
Like, I'm going to turn my daughter I hate into an AI so I can torture or whatever. Blah blah blah. I don't know. It sounds like something he'd do. It's in character. Alley-oop. Okay, behind the pillar. Let's not forget that. It took me far too long to find that. Okay. Why am I burning?
Dang.
What?
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, why did we start burning?
That's weird. That's very weird.
Were we in the wrong room?
I followed the... I'm pretty sure we followed the alarms. Maybe we must have just been in the wrong room. Unfortunate.
Weird. I don't think this ever happened. Like, I've done this.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go and use. I'm gonna go with the Celestial Nighthawk and what's the Cade Sniper.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I'm using tether, and I'm like, maybe I don't need to.
This guy moves around a lot, so you don't really need the tether as much.
I think I deleted it in my vault, so I'm gonna have to pull it. The sniper. Where is the sniper? Oh, it's still hunt. There it is. Okay, so we do that, that's fine. And... Okay, I think we're good to go.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay, this is 4. Okay.
What's the pressure's in the... How did it get up here? It's in the middle of the pillar. The buff.
Where's the operator?
Oh, it's over here. Let me.
Okay. Four. 4. 4. 4. 4. Okay, let's make sure we... Okay. Over here.
Whenever I don't play this game for a while and I come back, I'm always reminded of just how good it feels to play it. Just like the movement and the gunplay and all that, it's just really, really smooth.
Very
Good.
slick.
That is true. That is, I guess, the best consistent thing about this game.
But when you play it every single day, you just kind of take it for granted. You don't really think about it.
I forgot to get the scanner. Ooh, on me. It's kind of going around so fast.
Oh my... Okay. That's lovely. That's rather comedic.
Oh, where's the nuke?
Sorry. I was gonna dunk it, and then...
Okay, I'm just gonna...
put it in.
Oh, that's evil. I think next time, after I close the doors, I'm gonna grab the blue. I always forget the name of the blue one, but I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna break those guys' shields, because they are critters.
Isn't blue like suppressor?
Suppressor, yes, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I haven't done Deep Stone that much, so I don't... There was a little bit where I was kind of farming Taniks because I just wanted to get Eyes of Tomorrow just to have it.
I did.
Can we get you?
I was trying to get the scanner from the side room because it despawned because I died with it. I think I went to the wrong one.
Here we go. I got it. Is it gonna let me?
Where is your body? Or is it a ways off? Okay.
Oh, that's a spawn. Oh, goodness. Why are you still chasing me? Oh, here we go. I'm gonna deposit this. I'm gonna deposit this in this other room, and then I'm gonna run back and grab your ghost.
Alright, yeah, I just realized.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll put it in the wall and I'll wait for you to get into the room, and then I will shut the doors. Alley-oop. Ugh! Alley-oop. One more. That one.
It's down here on me.
Okay.
Alright, nice.
Okay. Oh, you're in here. Cool. Ugh. We're all quiet now because we're focusing.
I know. Locked in.
Next dungeon, we'll pick one where we can kind of speak while playing it better.
Yeah, this one gets intense.
It's a fun loop, though.
Yeah, I do enjoy it a lot. Especially back when I was really farming it.
Yippee!
Gonna die.
Once we get into the other room, I'm gonna equip a Killing Rift.
Dang it.
Here. This is not the fire.
How do you decide which one you're shooting, by the way?
It's the one with the scary face.
Yeah, it looks all mutilated.
Dang.
Let's get out of here.
You know what's funny is I actually did like worse in terms of like damage this time, but we did more damage overall. So it's great.
Yeah, I somehow got 2 thunder crashes off. I don't know how, but I did.
Good super. Good super. Yippee! I should probably scan. And that is 3. Alright. Uh, 3. Let's see, 3. 3. One more. That is bizarre. Is that it? Okay, there we go. Okay, and it's gonna be, yeah, that side. Oh! Okay. You good, Ven? Here.
I'm working on it.
Okay, let me... I don't think there is... Really that... I don't think there's really that much of a timer in here, so I think I can run and get ya.
I'm taking the scenic route.
Ooh.
You know, Abbadon's video really inspired me to look at every single corner of this dungeon. So I'm just kinda...
It's a good dungeon.
It is very nice. I love the environmental.
I can't believe you used to work here, man. That's crazy. Where is this last Bhutan? Oh, please stop irradiating me, I beg of you. Oh, it's that one. I really thought I shot that already. Oh well.
Oh, perfect, right up here.
Okay, let's run down in here before they irradiate us. With the second phase, I don't think you really need to worry about putting it back, because we're going up to damage anyway.
That's true. Out of habit.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. Good muscle memory. Okay. Oh my god, there's like 3 of them. Evil. Oh, it's... You know what? I'm an idiot. That wasn't the last phase. I don't know why I said that to begin with.
There's so much radiation in that hallway. That's crazy.
I know.
At least the basement is nice and empty.
Oh. Get out of my face! Put that up there for good measure. Where is this last Bhutan? Come on, man. Oh, okay, there we go.
Right, down here.
Microwave. That's such a barbaric security mechanism.
Yeah, to be fair.
I got full ammo, so I think we got this in the bag, so to speak.
Yeah, I got quite a lot.
Oh, where did you go? Okay. Let's see if I got that auto. I don't want to go down there. Okay. Well, better luck next time, I
got the auto
suppose. Ooh, did you get jolting feedback?
No.
Oh. So when
I
you
got killing Win and Swashbuckler.
when you get jolting feedback on it, it's basically a diet Zalo Supercell.
Oh, cool.
That's why I want it. Now I can switch off of my warlock and play my hunter. Sweet relief.
I will accept that from us.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've got time, I think, for one more dungeon, but it can't be as long.
How about we just do a prophecy?
Yeah, I'm done with that. Prophecy's fine.
No, good idea.
Quick, easy, we can get materials for it. Alright.
Abbadon, I can't believe you're 18. I was thinking about it. I was still, like, basically, like, in high school or whatever. When I was your age. It's just crazy. I'm so old.
Oh. I don't think I've actually said it on stream anywhere or anything. But, I don't know. I think it is, I don't know. It's kind of crazy now that I'm thinking about it. I guess.
Get your whole life ahead of you.
I know. Destiny's been with me for like half my life at this point. Or no more than that.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder.
What?
There's like a... Because I feel like both me and I guess especially you, Abbadon, I feel like there's a big generational gap. Because I feel like the average Destiny, I get like content creator specifically, is like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
there's
it's a new
many-
generation.
Because I feel like not that many, like... I feel like not that many Gen Z really play Destiny.
I don't know. I think one point that maybe is in favor of that is that this is a game that's very hard to get into. And so, yeah, probably the core player base, a lot of them are people that have been playing since either D1 or early D2. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's one point, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
even then though, I still feel like I've met a wider variety of people than I have, like any other game really. Like I've seen people who play this game as young as like 13 or 14 and as old as like 70. I was in a clan at one point where there was like a 70-year-old woman who was playing.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome though.
Yeah.
I saw like a TikTok the other day of like two like 70-year-old sisters playing 0 Hour for the first time on Destiny.
That's awesome. I want to get Outbreak. It's like, it reminds me of the Skyrim grandma, if you know who that is.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see such a wide variety of people.
I don't know why I did that.
I remember when I first did this dungeon, I kind of thought that the Echo, the Phalanx Echo, was supposed to be Keitel. I remember thinking that back in the day.
Huh.
Like, I thought they were going to imply, oh, Keidel's also going to use the darkness. We got short-circuiting on, by the way. Watch out for that.
Yeah, this is right, the 9 version, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are the mechanics any different?
Not too much. Or actually, no, they are slightly. Not anything super significant, though. So, like, for this one, for example, you see how Toland's kind of floating in the dark right there?
Uh-huh.
That just means you have to dunk there first.
Okay.
Yeah, so other than that, it's not too different. I do kind of like that they did that, though. Just a little tiny difference to make it more interesting.
Oh yeah, nonary manifold.
Yeah, I am happy to be getting more 9 stuff. I remember being very intrigued by them back in the day.
I'm kind of like rediscovering Season of the Drifter as I'm going through, because back then I don't think I've even played that much Season of the Drifter, and now I'm realizing how much lore there was in that one season.
Yep.
That entire year, I think I said it in one of your streams already, but that entire year just has some really interesting underlying tones. It nails, like, the theme of you knowing there being an apocalypse on the horizon very well.
Definitely, yeah.
By the way, goodness gracious, this poor dude.
Got annihilated.
It's the fastest I've ever
He was
melted that
smoked
guy.
from existence. I got relentless. I don't know if that's any good, but
I know the shotgun's supposed to be really good. I don't know what the role is.
The shock, you can get trench barrel and 1-2 punch on it. I think that's the big thing. One thing that I actually think is really fun is you can get headstone and paracausal affinity on the hand cannon. That's actually quite strong.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
is the hidden chest still in this?
Yes. I know it's a lot to ask, but I think it would have been cool if they did some sort of revamped armor for each of the dungeons.
I mean, for this one, they could have done the adept version or the flawless version or whatever of the Trials of the Nine.
Yeah, that armor looks insanely cool.
Yep.
I was not
Ooh, the shotgun.
great at Crucible. I'm still not great at Crucible. So like that I don't think I beat a single. Why am I stuck? What is happening? This is odd. Okay, this is really weird. I am just stuck in the wall here. That has never happened before.
Are you able to revive yourself, or do you need?
I can revive myself, yeah. In the highest difficulty, there are revive tokens in this, which is evil.
Here, I got your S.
Thank you, thank you. And another cool thing they do in this is there's also in the Rite of the Nine versions of these, there are actually revamped or extra bosses. Not like anything crazy, but in these little in-between encounters, there's like an extra boss in them. So like for this one, it's the paracausal invader dude, and he just kind of moves around the map as you're doing stuff, so you gotta avoid him. Oh, actually, here, let me... For this encounter, I actually like to equip the Griffin, because the, if you get, like, the full, like, buckshot on the blights, it one-taps them, even in the higher difficulties, which is really cool.
Really? I don't even know that. The Griffin's really cool. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah. I do personally still like the skimmers a lot more, but I still think that is a... Oh, never mind. He's dead. I did not remember Bane's being in here.
Oh, thank you, David, for the 5 euros. Appreciate it. Did you guys read the new Grimoire anthology? It has Winnow lore of him reading to... talking to Asa and saying she searches for the place everything began. I did see that. And we were talking about that earlier, but that lore is really interesting.
For sure, dude.
And I still, what do you guys think the place where everything began refers to? Because I don't know.
I think it could either be the Black Garden, because that's where all of existence began, or it could be the, what do you call it? The, like, homeworld of the Precursors, because that's where, like, the whole main conflict began.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I'm unsure.
So when you hear where everything began, you might like immediately think like where the whole story began, which would be the original garden. And that could be the Black Garden, but again, because of how weird that is now with Bungie, like with the Black Garden, like I don't know if, because technically it has to be the Black Garden because of what I showed in my video or whatever with the stump and all that, but they have yet to actually confirm that that is the garden. But whatever. So either it's the original garden or the Black Garden, or yeah, like Ultra said, the one we were talking about, the pyramid like race's homeworld, which if you think about it, it's a possibility, but what is actually the significance of her doing that? And I'm actually gonna kind of put this out there, and this is being really like, this might not be anything at all, but Asa is the one who gives us that message about how the race became the witness, and we get to see a bit of their world and all that. And I know this, I'm reading into this, but you could nearly imply that because she knows what their world looks like, she probably could go there if she wanted to. So I don't think it is that, personally. I do think it's probably, yeah, like the original garden. And I think... yeah, I really want them to go more into the Black Garden, because I think if they will do that, there's a lot of really cool things they could do with that. So, like, for example, I was saying this to, I think, Ultra before. There's the D1 Grimoire lore. I think it's, like, Mysteries something. It's, Rasputin talking about the collapse and how he let everybody die. And he's talking about, like, the Winnower, effectively. And it's like, I met it at the gate of the garden, or whatever. And, what I've been told is that the kind of context of that scene is this was at the gate that's mentioned is in the cradle on Mars, and basically Rasputin was like looking through the gate, and the winner was on the other side of the gate in the garden, and then that's where you get, like, your black blossom, your black flyer, your black fire devouring the blossoms. And so, yeah, no, if Bungie does go with the Black Garden and all that, they can do some really cool stuff. And, yeah, but we'll see. I think that lore was really good. I'm a little curious as to why the winnower really cares about Asa, or why he's reaching out to her. I'm just throwing this out there just as a little, like, could be cool. There's a mention of, I think it's an unveiling, of when the gardener is working in the garden. There's like the worms kind of like biting at her fingers or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the phrase is, but you could, if you wanted to, you could nearly imply that the worm gods as a species originated from the garden as well. And we know that Os is like a proto-worm or some crap like that. So if she's looking for the Black Garden, maybe it's almost like she's trying to go home or something like that. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. It's like tinfoil, whatever, but
Yeah.
Don't know.
I mean, what I think is very likely is, in most scenarios, you have to reach out to the winnower to talk to him, not the other way around.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
The one exception to that, I think, has been the Guardian. So because he brings up wanting to know where it all began, I think that Asa just communed with the winnower in like a search for answers.
No. You could also nearly... Asa isn't herself taken at all, right?
No.
But Sloane kind of is. And so maybe the winnower spoke to Asa through Sloane.
Ooh.
That's actually...
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. I need
there's
to
no evidence
reread
for
that passage, but I forget. I think it's implied that it's. I forgot. I need to reread it because like I might be mixing something up, but if I remember correctly, it's written in like she's asking. Like to me it was, I was reading like it was before she went to Titan, like in that period where she was kind of confused. But I need to reread it. Maybe I'm just actually just making stuff up on my head or something. I don't know. I will say I think the original garden. That's actually I don't know why I didn't consider that. The only reason why like I was not really considering the Black Garden was because like we've been there, you know, to the Black Garden. So, but I guess the winnower. I don't know.
I mean, maybe Asa just doesn't
also
know. I don't know.
There is, I think, the only way I think they can... Or not the only way. One way that they can kind of get away with having the OG garden not be the actual Black Garden is if the Black Garden that we can go to is just a the replication of the Black Garden made by the Vex.
Oops.
Now that raises
Yeah.
other questions, right? And it messes with continuity because, like, for example, in D1, the Black Garden was supposed to be inside the Traveler, and then they like kind of changed that. So like you're kind of getting a bit messy with it, but you could technically say that. And if you went with that, you could say that Asa's looking for the original garden, and it's not the Black Garden that we're going to because like that's just a copy. It's not the actual thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But it's still kind of I don't know.
I need to reread that passage because I'm like, because it also, I mean, it implies that they've interacted before too, Lunar and Asa. Because if I remember, he's like speaking like this was a promise she had made to him before. If I'm remembering correctly, it's been like last time I read it was whenever that lore came out, which was December.
I think the only thing I can think of, because you make an interesting point about that, is that we might need to learn more about, or you could get your answer if we learned more about Asa's relationship with the other worm gods, because the worm gods, I would actually make the argument that the worm gods were the original servants or worshippers of the winnower, before the witness was made. And the witness wasn't even like let's be honest, the whatever you want to call them, and the witness didn't even really serve or worship the winnower. They were kind of doing their own thing. But yeah, the worm gods, I would say, they were the only ones who kind of had a relationship with the deep, knowledge of the deep.
Yeah.
And so if Asa was kind of connected with them at all, then she may have interacted with the winnower through that relationship, you know, because she's called a proto-worm, implying that the others, either she's older than the other worm gods, or they were all like her, and then because of the winnower or something, the others changed into what they are now and she didn't. And if that's the case, maybe there was a time where her and the other worms met the winnower, and then the others, you know, joined the winnower and then she didn't. It's just, again, I don't know, throwing it out there. I don't know, it's one of those things where you wonder, does the writer actually know? You know?
Yeah. I need to go look at that. After this, I'm gonna go look for that page, because I'm like, my memory might be failing me here. Okay, hold on. I gotta find it.
My favorite thing was definitely the, I think it was called winnowing, which was when the winnower was like talking to us, and it's like, you know, the game is longer now, but I am still
Yeah,
Victor or whatever. That's
great.
just so good.
Yeah, I'm excited
Oh,
to see
Lord.
what they're gonna do with all that.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna. I'm kind of in a similar position to Abbadon, where I can't really give like too much away. But maybe I would say like a month or two ago, I was digging into the character, because yeah, and I made a bit of a like a discovery, or had a bit of like a revelation about the character that I'm really excited about. But all I'm gonna say is that the attitude that you see in this lore and in a lot of the other lore is potentially not really representative of the character and how they feel. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And if you go digging and you look at all of the Winnower's lore, and I'm gonna just say that all of the Winnower's lore, because there's, and I'm not gonna say what it is because I actually want people to go looking. There's one piece of Winnower lore that most people probably don't know about. That kind of raises some questions about things. So I would just say, like, that whole kind of bravado, and it's like, oh yeah, like I'm winning and this is great. I would just say, I would look into the lore a little bit more, and it might be a bit conflicting. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about this theory though that I've got. I'm an op to. Let me see if this roll was any good.
I've always kind of had the idea that the confidence and I guess chillness is the best way you could put it, is kind of a facade in a way. Because there's certain other things that the Winnower says, especially in Unveiling, that just makes me think that there's some sort of underlying rage within the character. I think one line in particular in Unveiling, I'll just whip it out real quick so I can look at it in game. Let's see. Yeah, in the first knife one, let's see. Don't know. Yeah, so when the gardener's like, oh, I want to change the rules, he says, all you will do, I said, with rising panic fury. The way I like to personally interpret that is that panic is kind of the emotion it wants to show off, but there's like an underlying fury to its actions. Especially because immediately after that, it's his response to the gardener going through with changing those rules is the manifestation of a knife, which he then uses to attack her.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, actually. I think you're right. And it's like,
Oh, no.
the way he talks.
I don't know.
Like that's sort of like
Yeah.
a disguise for his, you know, how he actually his true nature.
Yeah, because when if you, I don't know, because the one instance we see, that's the one instance we really have seen of things not going his way, and when it happens, he seems to respond with violence.
I agree with you that the winnower was definitely like enraged in that part of the lore. However, I don't actually think that this is an emotion that is like really consuming or a big part of the character now, because I think that when something that is very typical of like rage and anger and whatever is impulsive behavior and a lack of like emotional control, and so you know the winnower getting really angry and then taking the knife and all of that's really kind of a good example of that. But what's interesting is that, and I don't see people really talking about this, but I have to go back and try and find it, so I might be wrong. But in the final shape, Mike is talking about like her visions or whatever, and she's talking about the collapse, and and this is linked to the shard and the EDZ and why it was put there, and it seems as though the winnower, and I'm not just saying that like it's implied to be the winnower, wasn't trying to destroy the gardener or the traveler. He was trying to make her remember, and that is what made her like, no, I refuse, I reject this, and then she like ditched the shard. And you might be like, so why would he want to do that, and then why would she respond that way? And the reason why I think it's kind of simple, and it's that, so why does he want her to remember? The winnower's core thing, right, is that he believes that he is right. He looks at everything through this cold, logical lens, and it's not just that he believes, okay, like I'm right. He needs to prove that he's right because you have people that have their own argument, and then also because they have their own argument, they will then label him like, oh, you're a monster, you're evil, you're whatever. The problem is that he can't really like prove her wrong necessarily, like, because let's say she did remember everything what happened in the garden. He can be like, look at the universe. I told you I was right, and now look what's happened. He can't do that because she doesn't remember any of it. Like, you know, and even apart from him proving his argument, if she doesn't remember anything, she's effectively avoided accountability for her actions. And it's like, no, like I want you to see, like this is what you've done. Look at all the suffering, look at all the chaos around you. So it's partially to prove himself right, but then also to kind of rub that in. He can't do that unless she remembers. So I think that's why he wanted her to remember what happened with the garden and all that. And I think that's possibly then why does she not want to remember? There's a possibility that she just genuinely entered in the universe as a blank slate. But there's also a possibility it was to avoid accountability. It was to avoid, like, whatever. So the reason why I'm saying this in regards to the anger and the fury is I think if the winnower was just pure, like, really, like, I don't think he would really care to, I think he'd just be like, this is my revenge. And you actually see a little bit of that in Shadowkeep lore, where you have, she will bow to me. It's like this all caps angry, you know. And yet in Final Shape, like, you don't see that. That's not what happened. At the same time, I think the character, if it was purely just something that was under the surface, I don't think there's enough of a reason for that to be there, because everything is going the character's way. So I think if you want to say that that was there because of what happened in the garden, I agree with you. But literally everything since the universes have been made has been going the character's way. So I don't see why there would be that seething underneath. Because like, what is there to be, like, seething about? I know I'm kind of rambling, but I'm just trying to think this out in my head. I don't know. That's just kind of my.
I think it would
Your
more
take.
so. I think it would more so kind of come out like when things wouldn't go his way. So right now he's like, "Oh, I've I've had this sort of epiphany where things have kind of gone differently, but I'm gonna win no matter what." But if that's proven wrong, eventually, who's to say how he will react?
I don't want to like go too much into this, but I'm just gonna ask you this, and then you can kind of figure things out on your own. So, what is the situation where everything goes the winnower's way, and what is the situation where it doesn't? And think about what that means, and the people and the characters involved in that, and then look at the lore. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because yeah, there's like, I think like I do think like what you're saying makes sense, but I think there's actually a little bit more to that. I know I'm being really vague. It's annoying. I'm sorry, but
No, you're
like,
good, bro. Are you guys ready?
I'm good to go. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Let's kill not Aramis. And I get what you mean.
No, I can if you want, I can explain it to you later. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
I remember trying to solo flawless this dungeon, and then getting to this part, and it was just chaos.
This smoke just went into the ground.
They love doing that.
You know what? If this doesn't, I might change to the Nighthawk after this damage phase. We'll see what the damage is like though.
Oh, that's not what I need. I stood in the dark. What are you talking about?
Dark.
No, this room in particular is very finicky.
Yeah, it's a cool mechanic, but they never really did it again.
Moats.
Right, I've got dark.
I remember that being a thing back in the day where people were like, "Oh, motes of light are spheres, but the motes of dark you pick up in Gambit are triangles."
Are you? I think we.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh no. Okay, I'm good. Never been better.
Oh no! This is an easy 2 phase. Let's say.
Oh, for sure.
Or maybe actually, wait, maybe.
Depends. I thought I picked those up. What are you talking about, game? I definitely walked over these. Luckily, I can use my grapples. Yeah, they added the mechanic where you gotta bank the moats in here or else he'll teleport really quickly.
I am out of the heaviest ammunition.
Yeah, I'm out of everything.
Oh, we're so close.
Come on. Come on. I think we got
man.
it. Nice.
Yeah, literally just got it.
That was a good run.
Some bloodlust, hero. It hit me when you were tearing that last pack of taken apart. What the Nine are trying to say. Light,
Prosecutor.
dark, it don't matter. Light and dark are not the same. Didn't say the same, just the difference don't matter.
Ooh. We got a shiny sudden death. It's got, I think... I'll keep it still. It's alright. It's not too bad. I've pretty much gotten everything I wanted from the, Rite of the Nine stuff, which is good.
Nice. I haven't done too much. Rather than I swear, like I got all the roles I wanted.
My first time.
I just sort of, I don't know. It depends. It's like if I'm bored, I'll just hop in and do it.
Can we go tower?
Yeah, we can go to the tower.
I've got I guess a last question that isn't lore related necessarily. I think I've talked a little bit with Ultra about this. I'm just curious, like, for the two of you, like, you know, you make content and like you've done Destiny stuff. What are your, I guess, kind of goals, or if you have any plans? And like, to be clear, like, you know, you're both kind of starting off, and you're also young, right? I know it's probably annoying hearing that, but like, you've got like all kinds of options and stuff. I'm just kind of curious, like, what are your kind of thoughts? Do you have any goals that you want to try and hit, or do you have any ideas of what you want to do? Any projects that you're working on right now? I know you're working on a project, Ultra, but yeah, I'm just curious to hear about it.
I'll let Abbadon go first.
Yeah, so, later this year, so I'm going to university, starting.
Nice.
My major's actually, every time I tell people my major, they're so surprised. I'm gonna be English major.
You know what's funny? I actually was wondering, is he gonna do like a kind of creative writing English type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. No, with the concentration in creative writing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, goal one day is to like write stuff of my own, however that may be.
Love to hear it.
And then this channel wise, I'm just really happy with where it's at right now. If it just continues to grow, that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, this is just, I guess, a good way of just sharpening my skills and stuff, this channel.
So
I really enjoy
like,
doing it.
it's just like for fun. You're not like trying to make it like a career or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know if, you know, if it gets to a point where, you know, I could do a career off YouTube, that'd be fun. But I guess long term wise, I don't think. Yeah, that's not really my goal. I don't think that's really possible with Destiny at this point. Why did my stream just? Okay, I think it's good. That was weird.
I think that's actually a really a good way of looking at it. No, because like I was. So like for starters, I actually went to university for creative writing as well, and
Oh, nice.
I was literally the exact same, where I was going because like I wanted to write my own books and like my own series and stuff like that, and I think if I could give you any advice regarding like university and YouTube, is that like what I experienced is once I went to university, I mean, I only started actually doing YouTube like in like second year or third year or whatever, but especially like when things got kind of intense with university, I really couldn't do YouTube at the same time. So you might run into a somewhat similar situation where you kind of have to choose between one or the other, or like both end up kind of dragging you down. So I think you're kind of wise just to kind of keep it for fun. I think at the same time, when you are just keeping it for fun and you're not like focused on numbers or like, oh, like if I can hit this goal or I can do whatever, there's a lot less stress and you're not overthinking it and you're just kind of doing it for fun, and that keeps the passion going. And I think finally, I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head when you said that this is sharpening your skills, because that's exactly what is happening. I think when you're making YouTube videos, you're actually developing a lot of different skills. You know, you're doing, you know, learning how to do scripts, learning how to do voiceovers, learning how to, video editing is huge. And these are all things where you might not even in like 5 years time be doing YouTube, but whatever you are doing might actually use skills that you've developed during this time. So I think the way that you've laid it out is absolutely the right way of doing it. And I think in terms of like career, I mean, I would say this for both of you, but like, yeah, no, like I think you definitely have the, I remember the first video of yours I saw, I remember the comment I left for someone like you've got the, like the gift or whatever. And like, I'm saying this to both of you, but it's like, like, for example, when I started making videos, oh my goodness, dude, like I had no idea what I was doing. Like thumbnails, oh my goodness, terrible. My mic, terrible. My editing, I didn't even really know what I was doing. And like your first video was like miles better than my first video. So, and you're 18, you were probably like 17 at the time or whatever. And it's like, no, like when you're like 25 like me and you keep on developing it, you're, no, yeah. No, so I think you're going about it the right way, man. Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it a ton, man.
Hopefully that wasn't like too much or whatever.
Nah, it was good. It was good.
I mean, for me, it's kind of. I mean, I suppose I have similar aspirations. My whole thing is, when I was a lot younger, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of realized that writing is what I'm really passionate about. Like, no matter what the thing is, that's usually, I'm thinking of the writing most of the time. And so that's what I really just want to pursue. Like, and that's kind of, and that's of course how I decided to, that's kind of how I started this project in the first place, is because obviously anyone can just be like, oh, I can write whatever and it'll be like whatever. But the reason I've kind of committed to it is because things I've written in recent years, for example, I wrote a cyberpunk fanfic the length of like an entire book, pretty much. And the reception to that has been like overwhelmingly positive. The one comment that has stuck with me a lot is one dude said, "This is too good for Wattpad." That's and so I'm like, oh, if I have like the like obviously like the Destiny as a franchise hasn't gone on like the way it was kind of always intended. I'm not saying it's bad, of course. There's obviously very redeemable stuff, and they've done a good job for the most part. But I kind of realized, oh, if I have these skills, I should use them to make like a story for people who were kind of looking for that specific kind of story. And just in general, I think that it'd be good to have, it'd just be a good thing to have on like my resume if I ever want to pursue a larger job in that regard, like being a writer for like someone else's project, or it's a bit extravagant, but I wouldn't mind getting to like write my own movie or something in that vein eventually. Obviously that's very ambitious, but I don't know, that's just kind of the way I want to do things, I suppose.
I'm kind of like, it's funny because I'm kind of actually a mix of the two of you, but then I'm obviously a bit further ahead because like I'm older. So maybe you can relate to this, but I was in a position where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to go to university because like why would you, I mean, I say this, but people do it all the time, like why would you go to university if you don't even know like what you want to, you know, get a degree in for like your career or whatever, unless you're going just for a degree and you don't even care what your job is or whatever. And I didn't know what to do for work. And the only thing that I really had that I enjoyed and that I was, I guess, good at was writing. And I had like this book series I had been working on for several years and doing the world building and all that. And that's like where Venextron comes from, and all kinds of stuff like that. And yeah, so I went to university for creative writing, and that was an experience, I'll just put it like that. And basically what I ended up discovering was that YouTube was something I really enjoyed. And then I really sat down and I thought about it, and I realized that the same reasons why I wanted to be an author were the same reasons why I enjoyed YouTube. Because the problem with being an author, and I think both of you can relate to this and agree with this, is that there's no, like, if you're somebody who just wants to write, and it doesn't have to be your own work, then you can absolutely get you know, a job or a career through credentials. So for example, when I was in creative writing, there was one girl in my class, and she was like a proper, like a ghostwriter. So she would like write books for like other people. And, you know, if you have that kind of experience or you have a degree, you can absolutely, you know, get a job as a writer for different things, or like a journalist or whatever. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do my own stuff because I was passionate about my own worlds. But again, it's not like you just go to university, get a creative writing degree, and now you're qualified to get published. And it's also like a lot of money. You're writing this stuff. How are you getting paid in the meantime? These are all like really big questions. Like, how do you, you know? And YouTube, on the other hand, was something that I enjoyed and that could pay me, and was just like also did a lot of the, it was fulfilling in a lot of the same ways. So that's kind of what I figured out from that. And then I'll say this, and maybe you'll find this useful, maybe you won't, but one issue I ran into, I think it's interesting because Abbadon mentioned this about Destiny, like not, like he didn't feel like it was like right or like the right time or something like that about to make a career out of Destiny, was I was making Destiny videos, but I was I'm very specific in the kind of lore that I cover. I don't just cover anything, I cover the stuff that I'm interested in. And the stuff that I'm interested in happens to be the really deep mysteries that are connected to future reveals. So like the Gardener and Winnower and the Pyramid stuff. And what I basically kind of realized as time went on, once like the Pyramid stuff was getting wrapped up, and then the Gardener and Winnower stuff, like, you know, if that's the only thing I'm really making videos about, it's kind of hard to make a career off of making like one video every 3 months, because that's how much like new information you get. And long story short, yeah, like I was like kind of trying to figure out what do I like do, because as much as I like making content and doing YouTube, I don't want to be a slave to making content that I don't necessarily enjoy just because I'm trying to pay the bills. Like I just refuse to do that. And I'll just say this, I'll speed it up. A couple of months ago, I had a realization thanks to a friend of mine, where the thing that, like, the purpose or whatever is not just like writing or making videos. In the sense of being creative, it's actually world creation and bringing people into immersive experiences. And you can probably see that through like the videos on my channel with like, you know, the sound effects and the visual stuff and whatever. And so what I've basically figured out now, and this is connected to things that I'm working on now, but I'm not going to go into it, is really leaning into that to the point where I can create content that is that stands on its own 2 feet because of that, regardless of what the game or the content it's centered around. I'm also going to say this, right? Maybe it's a little bit. This is actually going to come out of nowhere. I haven't said this to either of you, and I think I'm okay to say this. But I had actually been talking about this really big project. I'd been teasing at it kind of on the channel, basically for like the last year now, or maybe even close to 2 years. I have been actually involved in the development of a game. I can actually say that.
Really?
Okay.
Yes. I'm not breaking NDA because I'm not saying anything like about the actual, but I have had conversations and have asked, can I say that like yeah. And basically my involvement has been in like the narrative and the lore and the
Ooh.
world building and like factions and stuff like that. And that's been really, really great. So I can't say anything like more about it. I can't say anything about the current state of development or anything like that, but I'll just kind of again throw that out there to where the fulfillment kind of came from, like the world building and the kind of creating that thing. So we'll see. Maybe in the future you might hear more about it. But yeah, I will throw that out there. I don't think I'll get in trouble for saying that.
That's
But
really
yeah,
cool,
no,
though, dude.
Behind the
Yeah, that's
scenes,
awesome.
yeah. Actually, dude, I will like it though. I can say this: the lore and the world building is insane, and it's not just and for the record, it's not just like because like I did it. I've worked like my specialty is like the kind of deeper plot threads and the kind of character arcs and like the actual kind of A to B story stuff. But like we've got people who are just absolute geniuses when it comes to like sciencey stuff, making sure things work scientifically and realistically, and if this were to happen, how would it actually happen in real life? I'm trying not to go into but like, so you take, like a story, and then you add on these absolute like genius people, and it's just like really, really, really cool. So whenever the time comes where I can talk about story stuff, I'm absolutely going to. But yeah, no, it's I really I hope I'm like, I don't think I'm, yeah, because I remember I had a conversation, I asked about it, and basically I can say like, oh yeah, I'm working on whatever, and I'm pretty sure I can say like, yeah, I'm working on like story stuff, but yeah, I can't go into any more detail.
I'm really excited for that then, man. That's
Yeah,
really
I'll
cool.
be playing day one. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to be careful, but no, I think, yeah, I can't. No, I can't. I'm trying to be careful with what I say, but no. But it's also, but I'll just say again, right? This opportunity came to me not because of credentials or because of whatever, but it was just because of, I guess, the fact that I was at least trying to put stuff out there. Not my own writing, but like, I'll say this. It actually began. I was approached due to my Outriders videos. Of all things, not the Destiny
interesting.
ones. Yeah. And yeah, no, like, if you are somebody who is creative and you want to be like a writer or whatever. So for example, my brother, he is similar to me but very different in the sense that he purely like movie focused. He always was, even when he was younger. And now he is a like a director and a producer in Hollywood. And,
Oh,
like, that's his
sick,
thing.
man.
Yeah. And like I think he started off as a screenwriter, so like doing scripts and stuff like that. But then he's like gone up the ranks, and now he's produced some stuff and he's directed some stuff, and but like that's completely different in the sense of he went to university and then he worked in that field, and then there's a lot more involved in that. But like that's not like what I would be able to necessarily do, and for a lot of people, because like the reason why I'm saying this is I have Ultra, you like writing, you want to do writing. Abbadon, you like writing, you want to do writing. I have 2 to 3 other friends. I'll just say this: I have 2 other friends who are the exact same, and who are both going to university for creative writing in 2 different countries. So this is actually like a much more common thing than you would think. And everybody has the same question and the same conundrum. I have this thing, I know that I'm good at it, and I like it, but how do I like pursue this? And that's a problem I've had. And no, my advice is, and this is like going to sound really basic, but this is the most important thing that you can do is be active in developing skills. That's like the most important thing I would say. So again, like content creation is great for that, because like you're doing video editing and stuff like that. I suppose I can say this because it is public. If you go to my Instagram, you're actually going to see some of the stuff that I've been working on in the meantime, developing my skills, and you might actually get like a little idea of what you could expect in the future. But yeah, I would say just the one thing I regret is that there were times where I wasn't doing any of that and I was just on autopilot. That's like the one thing you can't do. So Abbadon, like what you're saying about the skills, you're absolutely right. And I think Ultra, the fact that you have acknowledged the thing that you like the most and that you're the best at, that's also important, because that means that's the skill that you can develop. I know I just went into full educational mode. I'm sorry. Anyway,
No,
I'm going to
you're
end it
good,
there.
bro.
Sorry. I don't know. I just it's something I really care about, because like I've talked to so many people who have been in the same position as me or who are in the same position as me. And like I've both of my friends that I mentioned, they're finishing up university and like they're dreading it because they don't know, like what are they gonna do, you know? By the time I got to my last year of creative writing, most of the people had left the course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they didn't know. Like I was the one guy, and I guess that other girl who's like the ghostwriter, I was like the one guy in the whole class who had like an idea where it's like, yeah, like I want to be an author and I want to write these things. There were people who were like, oh, I thought it kind of it sounded cool, creative writing, yeah, okay. And then there were people who were like, oh, I like poetry, and yeah. Anyway, that's basically that. I think both of you have a very, very promising future ahead of you, and I think you're gonna do really, really well. Also, Abbadon, you said you didn't know about Destiny as a career. Well, isn't it a great thing that thanks to our friends at NetEase, we have Destiny Rising on the way? You know?
True. Destiny
Gosh.
Rising.
But that being said, okay, I'm actually genuinely excited for Destiny Rising because I've been told they actually hired Seth Dickinson.
Are you serious?
That's what I've been told. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm not wrong, but that's what I've been told.
Oh my goodness.
Hopefully I'm okay saying
Okay.
that. I should be.
So
That has really changed the way I perceive that game.
Maybe I shouldn't have said. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
dude,
I don't know. Allegedly. It's
What?
alleged. It's alleged.
All I'm
It
gonna-
came to me in a dream.
all I'm gonna say is this: imagine if the you know who faction is in Rising and not regular Destiny.
I don't know. If it was, I don't think it'd be because of him. But
And I'm just saying, imagine that's I mean, even independent, like, because you never know what they're gonna do. They could end up going down their own path and adding, like, their own enemies and stuff to that, because it's a separate continuity technically, so they have like creative freedom in that regard.
I just want to be clear though, this is an alleged thing, and it just because I don't know about like in the spaces that I have conversations with people, like it's just kind of like, oh, it just comes up in conversation, so like I'm just kind of bringing it up in conversation, but like I don't actually know if but again, I can't like, if you're like, what's the proof, I can't give you the proof. It's just like, so I don't know, but I'm just saying, in a hypothetical future, in a timeline that hasn't been touched by the Vex, if this was the case, it would make me marginally more likely to gain a lot of credit card debt trying to gain these characters in this mobile game. Just saying, if that was the case, where he was actually writing.
Honestly, for me,
allegedly.
Wolf, the default character is already the coolest character anyway, in my opinion. So I don't even feel the need to roll for characters, because he's basically just the Guardian anyway. His weapon.
Some of the characters look so good though, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fun. Like, his weapon is literally, like, his sword is literally just called a Wolf's Howl.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. He's basically just the Rising Timeline version of the Young Wolf. So I'll probably try it. I really do hope that there's a PC port. I honestly can't see them doing that though, but you never know.
There actually is a precedent. There is a precedent, because it's the same company that made, at least the same parent company, that made Diablo Immortal. And granted, Diablo Immortal, so for those of you who don't know, Diablo Immortal is a Diablo like mobile game that came out, and it was like outrageously pay to win. But when that game was announced, they did not mention it ever having a PC port, but it actually does have a PC port. That being said, how much of that is because they were going to make a PC port eventually, and how much of it was just because of the backlash is unknown. But I'm just saying, NetEase does have a precedent of making a mobile version of an MMO game and having a PC port. So I could see that happening.
Okay.
At the same time, though, I could see Bungie not wanting them to do that, because it could actually act as direct competition with Destiny in like a weird way. Because it would like dilute potentially players or whatever, but I don't know. I haven't played it yet because I'm in the EU, or I'm in Europe, and the beta's been US only.
I played it back in November, and it was honestly, it was better than I expected, way better than I expected. I was expecting it to be horrendous, but it was actually not that bad.
The gameplay,
narrative-wise, I could tell it was like incomplete, but
the gameplay does look pretty crisp. Something I do like is that your character actually has dialogue in-game. That's something I really wish they would incorporate into actual Destiny.
And the art style reminds me of D1.
Oh, 100%. Imagine if they actually like went full gacha and it was like Destiny anime characters.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I feel like that would get like. I feel like that would not be perceived well, but I think it's a funny thought.
I'm not like, I do play like on occasion gacha games, and I'm like, I don't spend money. I've never spent money on a gacha game, and I'm able to play the game fine. Granted, I don't take it super serious, but like, because of that, even if Destiny Rising came out and it was like outrageously paid win and it was scummy, obviously like I wouldn't be a supporter of that, but I'm only there really for like the story and the world, and as long as it doesn't get in the way of that, I don't really care too much. Like, I actually don't really play a lot of games these days. I know I'm like literally running on the tower with you guys, but that's, you know, just because of the stream or whatever, but like I don't have like a lot of time to be like worrying about having optimal DPS for my team that are perfect roles of whatever. So I'm like uber casual if it was to happen. But yeah, We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Also, actually, Abbadon, at some point after the stream, maybe a different day or whatever, if you're fine with it, if you want to talk about that theory that you had, I would love to hear it.
Yes, I'll definitely let you know, because
Okay.
I'll tell you. I think what I have is good. I'll say that.
I mean, like, if you want to go off of your track record with the Lodi thing, you know?
I will say, okay, with the Lord of Every Nothing, I don't think it's connected to Lodi in any way.
No, but I'm just saying you have a track record
Alright.
of digging into things, but then you're
Oh,
actually
yeah.
kind of like,
Oh,
no.
it's late. I'm like tweaking. Anyway, but yeah, yes. Hopefully then, if it is. That
Also, actually, I was gonna ask you, do you? I don't think you. Do you make your own thumbnails, or is it somebody else?
So usually, so recently, like all the 3D rendered ones, I have been commissioning those. And,
Oh, sick.
my past few ones, like my older ones, like the Vesper's Host one was the first one I commissioned, and that was from around Fiverr. But my next video, which is like it's like I just gotta go film like 2 things and it's gonna be done. So it should come out like tomorrow or the day after. That video's thumbnail and the Ghost of Deep I just did. Those are done by actually Astacross's
Oh,
thumbnail.
small
designer.
world.
Yeah,
Dude.
he takes commissions, I will say, and the prices are not that bad at all.
Maybe I'll look into that then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because like, I remember like seeing your thumbnails and I'm thinking, like, if this guy is doing all of this, bro, because like thumbnails like are like I make all my thumbnails and like it's difficult. And actually, no, sorry, I say that, but my best thumbnails I've actually had help from a friend of mine. So like it's not even like and then your ones are just like uber professional. I'm like what? How did this guy know how to do all this?
No, I've got, when it comes to like Blender and stuff like that, like I have no clue how to do any of that.
Is that what they use, do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, yes,
I had like
I
one
would
of my
assume
friends
so.
was looking into it. It was like there's like a lot of like Google Drives out there where you can like rip Destiny characters.
Yeah, there's
and have it all saved.
there is a whole like Discord, I think, like a whole Discord server dedicated to ripping models for Blender. So you can like go in there, you can be like, oh, can you guys like rip my Guardians model out for me, for example. So I'll probably ask them to do that for multiple reasons. I don't know. Like, I have downloaded Blender because, I mean, I won't get into it right now because we're probably going to end the stream soon, but, I don't know, that'd be a useful thing to have. I
plan on learning it, yeah.
I'd also love to just have that model for get like Source Filmmaker. Something I think would be really fun to do is have someone port the model into VR chat for me. I don't play that all the time, but I think it'd be funny to have for when I do.
You mentioned Abbadon, like honing your skill or whatever. What are the skills, I guess, related to video making that you do want to try and improve? Because, like, for example, like with the thumbnails, you seem at the moment anyway, from the sounds of it, content to delegate that to somebody else. So, like in the case of, I guess, what you are doing, is there anything in particular that you're thinking like, yeah, like I actually want to get better at this? Or
So I've been thinking about it. And it'd be like if I really have to, which I'm probably gonna start considering actually, is getting an editor to help out with editing. And because I think I will have to look around, but I think like the money I make off my channel, I kind of just like putting it back into it.
That's smart.
Because it's just, I love doing it. So if I've been thinking like for like the future, is like if I really tight on time, like editing is not something like I enjoy editing, but I feel like it takes a lot of time, and
Yeah.
like the one thing I want to keep, like if I have to drop it, like okay, I make sure writing is like the one thing I'm the one gonna be in charge of, and if someone else has to edit, it's fine. But writing is definitely like the one thing I gotta like. This is what I love. Like it's just the core of the video is the write. Or it's the script. So like definitely that, and also I'm learning that voice direction has also been something I've been kind of developing. Because I've been getting voice actors, and people to just voice the different like the characters in the lore and stuff, and I've been learning, I guess, how to really direct them and get because like it's hard to describe like a voice in your head that you're imagining of someone else. I don't know if you can. But when I read a line, I imagine a way it's said in my head, and then it's just communicating that to someone else. It's actually like it's kind of hard. I've been learning how to actually do that effectively.
Yeah, I think that's I don't remember if I did it for your video, but I did it for one of Ultra's recently, where he asked me if I could voice something. And like what I do is I'll record like multiple takes, but like do each take in a slightly different way, in a slightly different tone, then I'll send it, because like, I don't know exactly what way like he wants it or somebody would want it. So I just try and like give like a buffet of different like I guess tones or speeds or whatever, and then hopefully one of them is like close to the I guess envisioned thing. So maybe that's something that you could like, if you do that in the future with people, just say, hey, do you mind like giving me like multiple takes that are just kind of slightly different, in case like you have a hard time like describing it exactly.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people, they'll give me like a bunch of takes, but like what I've been doing now is like I'll provide like, so how I get my voice actors is part of the process. It's like there's a Discord server I'm in where people are just looking for work, looking for projects, and I'll go and go look at their voice reels, whatever it's called. I think it's called that. And then I'll DM them, I'll talk with them, and but these people like they're unfamiliar with Destiny, so they like no idea who these characters are. So it's been a process kind of telling these people, giving them the right context necessary without like dumping a whole
yeah, just send them the 10-hour live video.
Yeah. But yeah, so for some characters it's like there's one line, so it's like I don't really think like I'll give them obviously some little bit of direction, but other characters like for example, so my video the next one's so Inspire of the Watcher, and the big character is Soteria and her story. That's like the main she's just like the main character of the lore, from the like that. And I have a voice actor for her, and man, she was good to work with too, because she wanted a bunch of context, and like it took like 2 big Discord messages to get all the lines through, because I would add so much context to each line, and like the how the story's going, how the story's like told through those voice lines. It's like I don't know, it was really interesting going through that, and you learn like, I guess you can learn a lot about the character when you do that, if that makes any sense. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe this experience, but yeah.
Again, I think these are all like really valuable skills. I mean, I'll just say this, it's not even just the voice acting, but like learning how to interact with people in that way, like from like not like hiring, but like a recruiting kind of thing, and having that kind of dynamic, and like these are actually really like valuable skills to learn and develop, and maybe you'll use each and every one of them in the future, and maybe you won't, but like the fact that you're, I guess, putting yourself out there and like going forward in that way, it's a very, very valuable thing to do. Absolutely. And yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. Ultra, if you don't mind me asking you, what is like one skill that you kind of want to focus on or try and develop? Is it like the same as Abbadon, like with the writing, or is it something different? Or?
I'm relatively confident in my writing. I do like to kind of have multiple people around to kind of make sure I'm not getting too lost in the sauce, so to say. I would really like to learn how to like animate and all that. That's such a big commitment, though, that that one's a little bit
What kind of
overwhelming.
anime?
I guess specifically Blender.
Like the 3D model type stuff.
And that's like a very
Okay.
complex
Yeah.
piece of software. Like when I downloaded it and I tried messing around with it, the most I could do was like deform I could turn a square into a sphere, and I could deform the sphere.
Yeah.
I guess other than that, generally, I feel like the main thing I've really been learning with my current project so far is just leadership skills in general, because I'm not the most outgoing guy. I usually keep to myself a lot, but it's been I feel it's been very valuable doing this project, like just kind of standing up and being like, okay, I'm gonna really commit to this, and kind of learning how to run a team, so to speak. I think it's been a very, I mean, even if I end up getting it all done and it gets like 100 views and like whatever, it's still a really cool thing to experience, and I think
Yeah.
it'll be very valuable to
No,
know
I
all of
agree
that.
with that. Yeah, and it's the same thing I said to Abbadon with even kind of, it sounds kind of like corny saying it, but it's like the social skill kind of side of it, where you're somebody, like you said, who may tend to stick to themselves. There's a lot of people like that. I'm kind of like that, but you have this thing that you really want to do, and your desire to want to see that thing come to life is stronger than that other desire, which is to kind of stay to yourself. So again, you're willing to put yourself out there and try and get these other people to come in and like, hey, this is what I want to do. Like, would you do this with me? And then like try and direct and so like you said, it's like leadership skills. And I also think that you have the right way of looking at it and not caring about the numbers necessarily. I will say this. Numbers without momentum don't really mean anything in terms of like actual growth. Like if you are like monetized and your content is about freaking whatever, and then you make a completely different video that's completely unrelated and it gets like a bajillion views, then you got like a great payday, but like that doesn't mean your channel is going to be growing if you go back to creating the other stuff. So you're absolutely right in mainly caring about the experience points, so to say. But thank you both of you for sharing that. I think it's really interesting to learn about that. And
Yeah.
I also think it's probably, I don't know how many people are like watching the streams, but I also think it's interesting for people like to see the people they watch not just as like content producing machines, but as people who have a thing that they're working towards and that they're like developing these different skills and like the different hurdles that they're overcoming. I think that's like very rare to kind of see from people nowadays. So
Yeah, I was just thinking that, because there's 6 people watching right now. It's just like, I did not expect, by the way, as many people. I thought it was like 1 or 2, or even 0, because it's like, it is 2:30 where I am. But, I don't know, it's like, I was thinking, it's like, you don't really see this at all with like creators like kind of like humanizing themselves in a way. Like, you go to they're still people, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are obviously positives and negatives, and there's a very clear like balance that you need to strike. Because have you heard of the term parasocial?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know where I'm going with that. So you gotta be careful about that. But I'm gonna get a little bit like really quickly, like a little bit businessy. And I remember I had a friend, and he was making content, and he wasn't really doing well like at all. But the reason and the reason why that I told him was, and I learned this very early on, is that when you're creating content, you are either producing a service of some kind, or you yourself are the product and you're producing personality content. Like, yeah, you can kind of get the idea of what I'm saying. And I don't mean this to be like disrespectful or mean to viewers, because hey, we're all viewers of somebody at the end of the day. Nobody gives a crap about who you are necessarily. They care about what they get from the video, which is the service. So when you start off making content, the wise thing to do, unless you have like an extremely crazy personality that can be really entertaining, is to make videos that provide a service. So like in the case of lore, you are providing a service by helping people learn more about, like, you're kind of like educational in that sense. But that being said, the people who watch you for you and who like you for you, they will stay with you and they will follow you regardless of the content that you make. And that is much more valuable. And so one of the benefits of humanizing yourself is it's not just, again, to be seen as more human, but it's to create a better, I guess, relationship with your audience. That means that it's just healthier for growth. And I don't mean that in like an icky kind of monetization way. I just mean that in a I don't know, like, look at me. Like, I've taken so many breaks from YouTube over the years. I'm currently like technically like this is like the first time I've even spoken in like 6-7 months or whatever. But there are people who still genuinely, you know, I've got people on my server that hang out and talk. I've got people who are probably, you know, I've had a comment maybe like one every 2 weeks on a video saying like they hope I'm okay, or they want to know like if I'm going to be making content or whatever. And that's only because of the fact that people actually, I guess, care about me as a person. And that's only because I guess I've kind of fostered that relationship. Not like in a weird, icky, manipulative way, but it's just like, I'm just friendly to the people that watch my content because I appreciate them or whatever. So, no, it's, there are some creators that will completely stay away from that. And it's a very professional, I make the content, you consume the content. And that's fine. But there are benefits of not doing it that way, I guess. Again, I got really super educational about that. Sorry.
Nah, you're good, man.
Yeah, this has been, yeah, it's been really like, it's been really great. Just talking, you know, like, I don't know, it's just like, you're definitely right though about there being like a certain balance to it, because you also don't want, like, I guess I will say I think this sort of niche is like less prone to like getting too far to one, like,
Yes.
freaking weird, which is
Yeah.
like a good benefit, because like there's
Yeah.
definitely some like other niches where it could just go really bad if you
Yeah.
even kind of stray from like a business type relationship with the viewer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, what's interesting, though, is you said this niche. And what is a niche? But it's a narrow, like, field. And you may find in the future that you won't always want to be in this narrow field. And then it raises the question of, well, first of all, where would I go? And also, would the people who watch me even stay with me? Or would I just lose everybody and have to start over from scratch? You know, it's like that kind of, so it's, there's, I can't name names because, I mean, I probably could, but I just don't want to. There's a certain creator, and they mainly play one game or one type of game. And they don't necessarily really have the best time with that, and they've been open about that. And yet, I'll watch their numbers or whatever, and if they ever try and go and do something different, it just, you know. And this isn't just like some tiny whatever creator. This is somebody, like, this is their full-time job. And because of that, they're kind of stuck, you know. So it's just another thing to kind of keep in mind, because you're right, this niche doesn't really, you know, but you never know in the future. But no, I've really enjoyed this stream. I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest, but I just wanted to support Ultra, and then also I definitely wanted to meet you properly. And yeah, I had a great time in the dungeons, getting lost and and doing potentially suboptimal DPS. But no, I had a great time, and then really enjoyed some of both of you, your insights on the lore and your thoughts about future content. And no, I'm down to definitely either do this type of thing again in the future, or just kind of talk more, like off stream or whatever, in DMs or in calls or whatever.
For sure,
I'm down
man.
for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure.
we
Also,
should definitely-
yeah. No, keep
I
going.
was like, we should definitely like try to do the stream again. This has been really great.
I
think
agree.
I'm glad you
guys
enjoyed it.
has liked it as well.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, and then maybe like someday, you know, when my channel is like kind of up and running in the next phase, and I'm doing streams again, then there'll be 3 co-streaming, you know, not just 2 streams, and that'll be
Oh yeah.
trying to balance 3 different chats. Oh my goodness. But no, I really enjoyed this, and I know it's late for both of you, so thank you for your time.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Of
Of course.
So, you said, Abbadon, real quick. You said that you're going into university. Are you starting like this year? So like in like August or September, or?
Yes, August.
Okay.
So,
And
like-
yeah, no, I wish you all the best with that, man. I hope it goes really well for you.
Thank you.
Are you like nervous about it? You looking forward to it, or?
I'm really looking forward to it actually. I'm making sure that like I'm hopeful I can balance it all, and that's what I said earlier. Like if I need to, I would get an editor if I really need to help videos, because I do love this so much. So, that's been like my one concern, is balancing it all. But I think in the back of my mind, like I'm starting to develop ways to avoid having there be a problem. If that makes any sense, like balancing it. But yeah, for people watching on YouTube, the videos will stay consistent. Sorry about that. Like I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry, guys.
Unless the moon men arrive.
I think it's probably a good ending point, because I'm coming up to, I gotta do some stuff, and
Okay.
yeah.
It is a little late.
Yeah, you two really should be going to bed. Ultra, it's like, what is it, like 3 a.m. for you? Or
1:48.
going on 1:40.
Yeah, it's 2:48 for me.
2:48. So Ultra, you are like 7 hours, and then you're 6. Is it Abbadon? I think it's
Yeah.
8:48 for me in the morning. So yes, like
Yeah.
I did get up at 3:30 in the morning today. That was,
Oh dang.
but it is what it is. All right. Well, in that case, guys, I think I'm gonna go and get my day started, and you should go and get your day finished. And
All right.
thank you again for your time. I'm glad that you had fun. I had a lot of fun. And
Okay.
yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye. And to
Yeah.
everyone in my stream, thank you for watching. Everybody.